Hey everyone, happy holidays. Sneaking live a little bit early today. So if you're in the chat, good for you. My chat is all messed up here, so I gotta figure out how to fix that long term. It is all wonkified, which is not getting fixed. So we'll deal with it. Let's see. Yeah, it's been a long time. I hadn't realized it had been since I got back from Brazil, which is nearly 2 months. It was kind of crazy for me catching up from that, and then had some solar panel construction that was supposed to be 4 days turned into 3 weeks of just nightmare. Can't work because we have a metal roof here, and you know they were just making it impossible. So I couldn't do voiceovers. I couldn't do uh, really anything. So yeah, it's been a long 3 weeks, long 2 months, but here I am. It's not a Sunday, but it's Christmas, and I want to give away some memberships, so I've been doing that a little bit before we went live, and I've got some announcements to make. But boy, I really want to see this chat better. So I'm working on how do I fix this, because I do this to interact with you guys. So let's see here. If I'm in the edit studio mode, maybe definitely not studio mode. Not that mode. Not that mode. Turn that mode back off. For some reason, it just will not. Oh, now I've moved myself off the screen. That was great. Um, let's see. What if I make this window smaller? This is great content, I realize. If I make it smaller, that kind of didn't help. There we go. That kind of helps. I can make that work. Will this stay fixed? There. Fixed it. All right, we're good to go. So the big announcement I've been waiting to announce for a long time is that I finally get to retire. So January 1st, you basically won't see me around anymore. I'll be on the board of directors, so I'll still be around, but yeah, there's a few videos we pre-filmed. That's why we kind of went to Florida and everything, and got some more videos. So we'll dole those out, but I'll try to peek in on social media and everything once in a while. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going anywhere. I just wanted to troll. The big announcement is brine shrimp back in stock. It may not seem like a big deal to you guys, but it is for us. It was very dicey in terms of the amount of money and what we have to go through to get it, and potential of a tariff or something like that. And then on top of that, we lowered the price. So that's kind of a controversial decision, but looking back on 2025, I want to make sure we deliver value always. I'm always value driven with other stuff I buy in life, as a hobbyist, as a business owner, and it's hard to justify the higher price of brine shrimp eggs. Like, we're already still high priced. They're the best. However, I wanted to deliver some better value. So we don't really, it's hard to say we don't really make money, because obviously we make some money, but in terms of things that we sell, the brine shrimp definitely, like, if all we did was sell brine shrimp, it would be me in my garage. That's it. So we did lower the price down to 25, which is awesome. So there's that. The small vial of eggs, which are not a great value, but some people only need just a little bit. They got one hatch of fish or whatever it is. So yeah, those went down in price as well. So to recap the year, we kind of started off feeling strong. Tariffs got crazy, still are crazy. And then here we are towards the end of the year, and looking at, like, well, what are we doing as a company? Are we still delivering on what we want to do, which is, provide jobs? We want to support the hobby. We want affordable products. We want stability. We want healthcare. We want all these things. And looking at pricing, I'm like, it's not where we want it to be. And so we're trying something new. We're hoping that, we'll win in the tech world. It's win the buy box, right? So if you didn't know us, if you weren't in this live stream and you're just an average customer and you're looking for a product, if we're the lowest price, typically you will buy it. There's lots of other things go into that, but if we're more high priced, you're less likely to buy from us if you don't know us. You don't know the customer service we have. You don't know what we're trying to do. So we're overall, trying to make it more affordable on everything we do. And so it's not just brine shrimp eggs, by the way. So we looked at our foods, and there's more foods than this, but the 1 pound of the Magic Small Fish feed was able to come down like, I want to say $8, maybe up to 10. And then both sizes here of the Easy Community pellet were able to come down. So like the small guy is down, I think, I gotta pull it up, I think $8.99. You'd think I'd remember, except I wrestled with these prices for like weeks, going back and forth, tweaking. What does that mean? What could it work? Yeah, so $8.99 down from $11.99, and then this bad boy, we're down to $23.99. So, yeah, and to further support the hobby, breeders, fish rooms, all of that, in 2026, we're looking to bring in the 5-pound package that will be a bit more savings. Yes, you're buying a very expensive giant thing of food, but you'll save a little bit more percentage with that. So, we're going to that value. Like we want, we've got, there's some I could talk about, probably some I can't talk about, but people like a Dan's Fish, they're feeding like 16 plus pounds of our food a month. We've got other breeders and sellers and things like that also doing that, and we're looking at this in lots of stores. Like I myself burn through 2 pounds in my little fish room compared to a facility in like a month. So and I'm always like wanting to do more. In fact, I've got more tanks over there. I'm in that build more phase again. Like, ooh, what if we build some more tanks? Like I need more room. So so that'll help. We're also to come, there's 2 more foods that are in production at the moment. Those will, I think they come out in Q1 of 2026. So we basically have taken every dollar you guys spend with us and we reinvest it back into more products and more things. And we're going to hope it all works out. So instead of living 2025 kind of in the, are we going to get crushed territory from tariffs and other things, and making, there's very little room for error. So a lot of the decisions were agonized over in many meetings. But now we're just kind of taking this like, well, we're going to go for it. And if the people support us, we're going to make it, because just staying passive and waiting, I can't wait for years, right? That doesn't make sense if we're going to improve the hobby and things like that. So we made other decisions too. We invested in, the Catfish Convention coming to basically Seattle, Washington. So where our store is, if you want to fly in for that next October, we'll be a part of that. Or at least I'll be there. We're sponsoring it. We sponsored every speaker. We bought every speaker spot. So every speaker that will be there, from Ian Fuller to, I'm going to sound bad because I just don't remember any other names, but every speaker we doubled up. So there's 2 sponsor spots. We bought all of them. And then we're also supporting the Kentucky, the ALA, ACA, and Beta Congress convention. So we'll be doing that as well. And so, yeah, kind of just, we took, I don't want to say we took a year off, but it was a very passive year to like, you know what, we got to double down. And so, here I am. You guys donated memberships. Thank you to everybody who donated some memberships. I'm going to keep trying to match those or keep buying some more. And so let's see here. What do I want to say? I want to say that I'm going to try to do a better job about promoting the monthly talkers or talkers. That sounds terrible. I was spending $109 on memberships while I was trying to say that out loud, but trying to promote the speakers more, because what we're seeing is this. Now that we do the Deep in the Mullen podcast every single week, and we're on episode, next week will be 45, right? And we even did one yesterday. Like Zenzo was busy with family. We still did it, even when we travel, all of those things. So getting that extra hour to an hour and a half long piece of content every week, plus once a month hiring a speaker, the membership I think is a better value than it's ever been, which is good. Yeah, you still earn coins. Yes, you could still earn like Yetis that are right here behind me. And there's other little side perks, like one of the plans, we haven't fully fleshed it out, but one of the plans is if you're a member and you're coming to the Kentucky event, we want to let you in the warehouse. Maybe there's some swag to give away. We want to buy you a dinner, maybe provide pizza, or maybe we'll do something else. I don't know, but trying to deliver on that. Plus, yeah, you get 5% on the website all the time, that's just a thank you for supporting and having a reliable. It helps us have a reliable income source that we can, in my brain, I compartmentalize that of like, yeah, we can give to that influencer. Yeah, we can give to that club. Yeah, we can do these things because we have the support of the people. And so I try to spend that money in a way that will, long term get back to you. So yeah, if you spend $5 a month, which by the way, don't buy it through Apple, buy it through, your browser, Chrome, anything like that. If you buy it with the app, it'll charge you like $6 or $7.99. But I try to take that $5, and it's not that you necessarily will get that $5, value every single month, but over time it might be like, well, yeah, you're gonna get in my opinion, you're gonna get way more value if you were to show up at the Kentucky warehouse with that convention, if you were to go to, when we do a store event or anything like that. So yeah. What else we have? The new root tabs. Also been waiting years. This has been, I think we're 18 to 24 months in root tab development. And so now they are these tabs. So no more capsules. They don't float. And one of the big things that I had forgotten quite a bit ago when I started this project was the goal was so one of my main ethos is, if we're going to touch a product, maybe we're going to launch a new product we've never launched, maybe we're going to improve one of our products. It's always, how do we increase the value to the customer? And so how we did that with the root tabs, yeah, we solved the floaty problem. You don't have to poke a hole anymore. They just sink. So that's good. That's solving a problem. It's not really improving the value. Now you get twice as much fertilizer. So this is twice as much as you were getting in these packages. Twice as much for your plants. Same price. So kind of like we did with Easy Green over the years. Easy Green also got that, twice as potent. It's as potent as it can get at this point. Which when you compare our fertilizer to other fertilizers, they can look different on pricing, but when you look at amount of fertilizer to dollar, we are crushing it. But the average new hobbyist, they just go, hey, this bottle's $10 and yours is $24. But when you look at it, it's quite a difference. So, yeah. So do I have other? Oh yeah, and I haven't gone live in so long, or haven't been able to make the video yet. I've got videos on a lot of stuff that, new products, like we've got the sponges, which I have in boxes under the 800 gallon right now, but we did launch the 3 sponge pads. So we have the 15 PPI, the 30 PPI, and the 40 PPI. And so we've got those right here, course defined. And I made these to solve my own problem. And that was my giant, 5-gallon bucket canister filters for the 800 gallon. I couldn't find sponge that wasn't, like on Amazon and stuff, they're all selling them where they're sucked in, and they sit that way in a warehouse for many, many, many months. And then you get them and they're like, yeah, just let them out. They'll return. And they don't. They, like a 2-inch piece of foam like this, when it's done, it's still like this and lumpy. And that's just not good for reticulated foam. You need kind of uniformity and stuff like that. Also, they weren't in sizes that made sense for bigger canisters, like your FX6s and your Eheim 1500s. So these are 11.75 by 11.75. And you might say, Corey, why wouldn't they just be 12 by 12? That seems easier. That would be true, except I need to fit it in a 12 by 12 box, so it doesn't cost $22,000 to ship it to your house. So it's 11.75 by 11.75, and to my knowledge, it will fit every canister filter in the US market. The biggest ones I can find, it works. You just, on the biggest one, you trim just the corners for the round ones, drop that bad boy in. Yeah, it'll fit every hang-on back filter as well that I know of. And so it's not a revolutionary product. It was just trying to solve sizing issues and we don't ship it compressed. Like they're 2 inches, and you're gonna get the 2 inches. And yes, does that cost way more than doing that? You're darn right. Does it? We brought a whole 40-foot container of these in because they take up so much space. So it it's I don't think anyone's gonna write home about this product. They're not gonna, but when you need it, you're gonna know, oh, I know I can get that from Aquarium Co-op. I know it's gonna arrive the way I need it to. I know it's not gonna have any of the problems with it. And I think that I ordered so many foams from all the normal competitors, right? All the normal things, and just kept being disappointed. So either A, you have like the Fluvals and the Oases and the whatevers of the world, and they only make foam that fits their specific thing, or B, you have like I call them the Chinese companies, where like the name of the company is 2964Q7, and you can never remember it, and they're all vacuum packed. And then the best one I found, and that's how I knew I had to do this, was one that they didn't vacuum pack it. They like folded it and like crunched it in. That was still better. But when I went to make my media ready for the canisters, there was so much wasted because it was like this. I want to say it was like 20-inch by 12-inch, which meant when I went to make 2 rounds, I had like 30% just wasted. Where this, when you do that for like that canister filter, you're gonna be like, oh, you wasted 6%. Like there's always gonna be some, because I can't fit every canister and do that. So, yeah. So new product helps a small amount of us, and I think people will like it. I'm gonna do videos of redoing all my canister filters and stuff, which I don't have a ton, but I do run some on the 800 gallon. I run one on this, and I run one on the 230 gallon. So yeah. Thanks for the memberships. Yeah, thank you for everyone donating. I'm not gonna call out every name here because it gets to be a lot, but I wanna say thank you to those that are donating. I will keep donating as well, and take advantage of this, by the way. So if you're getting a free membership here, or if you want to buy your own, you can do that too. You can watch all of the content in 1 month. Like, it's technically doable. So you can watch the like 50 plus speakers we've hired. We literally pay them. We will buy them a webcam. We will buy them a headset if we need to, and get that done. And then also we have 44 Deep in the Mulm episodes. And then we've got like another 100 just over the last 10 years, member only type videos. One's like learning how to make guacamole. How does Dean, the professional trained chef, make guacamole? Other fun videos like that. Little meme type stuff. But you don't have to wait for like, oh, the Deep in the Mulm will come out next week, and then, oh, there will be a speaker. You can catch up on all of that. And so the one big downfall with the memberships is you can't listen to it in your pocket with it off. Like, for some reason, they don't let you download stuff. And it is the number one gripe, and we always bring it up to YouTube and go, hey, people aren't happy about that, and they just basically don't respond. But yeah, I think we're getting to the point where the value is good, because if you spend $100 on our website, which is not too difficult to do, you save 5%. So there's your $5 back. Ooh, I forgot. I don't think I've done a live stream or anything since we started doing this. If you haven't been around on the website, if you spend $125, you can add a shirt to it, and it's free. So I think that's super cool. What I want to highlight here is these are not like promotional shirts or something super cheap. These are the shirts that cost me a lot of money, that are only screen printed, not direct to print. In fact, when I was in Florida, we went and visited AKT and saw the facility, and I grilled them about their super duper expensive state-of-the-art direct-to-print garment machine versus the screen print that I like. And the answer is screen printing is still better. And so we only do that, even though it is more expensive, high-quality shirts. And so that free thing you get is not the same free t-shirt you would get from other brands where they're like, how cheap could we get it? Could we get shirts out for $3? Could we do that? We'll send those out for free. I don't like to do anything that makes us look cheaper or worse, because I feel like everything we touch is a reflection of our brand and what we do. And so the same shirt you would buy from us for $25 is also the same shirt you'll get for free when you buy it at $125 and you get it for free. So there's no corner cut in there or anything like that. So know that those shirts very high quality. People wear them for many, many, many years. If you have a shirt that has held up really well, that's what our shirt will do. If you have those shirts where you're like, I wore it twice and then like it's all peeling off and it's not good, like that's not what our shirts are, because I am crazy particular about it. And yeah, I run the company. I got to use this product myself every day. It needs to be good. So thanks for everybody that do get those free shirts. I appreciate it. Canada can use more stores besides one. It totally could, and it probably won't happen. It is very, well, it's not, well, it is difficult. I would say very difficult. There is a lot of work that goes on to get those products into Canada and to get them working. And we worked on it this week, in fact. We're working on it all the time, and there's a lot of upkeep just to get it to the one store, and they'll ship throughout the United States. I honestly just don't see us having the bandwidth to expand that. So April's Aquariums, if you're in Canada, also known as your local fish store, it's just brutal. And the reality is, if we didn't have Darren, the owner of April's Aquariums, as a partner, we probably just wouldn't have our products in Canada. It is nothing against being Canadian. It's just hard to do. Someone says shipping in Canada is expensive. Yes, if we tried it in on Amazon for a while, and the things like, if you're selling, you have to have multiple languages. So we had to put French, and it's not our specialty to be converting every package into both English and French. And then other things like everything's got to be in metric system as well. So like there's a lot of steps that kind of go to it. And I'm not going to say never, but not in the near future. So it's one of those, like, we have the ability, you can get those by buying from them. And we're thankful that he helps us pull that off. Yes, Candy brought up a good point that it is in the fine details of the shirts. The shirt does not count towards the $125. So you need to spend $125 on brine, shrimp, eggs, and foods and plants and other things. And then when you hit that threshold, it'll say add a free shirt, and you will. It's not, if you put in shirts early, it's not, those don't count towards. Like, well, it technically would. If you bought like 6 shirts, you would get one free. But what we're saying is, it's not spend $125, including the price of the shirt, and then we knock $25 off, because that would only be $100. You spend $125, and you get the free $25 shirt on top of that. So just know that. That's a little thing there. There's more new products, by the way, on the website, or new in what's old is new again. We did bring in some more plants, and so we are now selling again. It's been a few years. That's why it's kind of. We have a Pontigaton ulvaceus. We have Crinum calmistratum. We have a Pontigaton crispus. We are sold out of Bovinianus and Madagascar lace, but we are bringing them back in. The quality is good again. Went to the farm. They're getting them from a different source. And yeah, so no. Oh, I didn't even mention that. We lowered almost every single plant on the website, got lowered. Somewhere between $1 and $5. Again, trying to win that buy box. We reassessed what are our. We collect data. You guys, if you've been following us for a while, we're a big data-centric company. And we looked at, now we have basically a year of shipping in Kentucky. And so we have the data from getting it from Florida to Washington, where we used to be. We also have the data getting it to Kentucky. And then we have the data from shipping out from Kentucky countrywide. And by looking at that, we knew that moving to Kentucky should save money with shipping. And by being able to analyze the data, we're going, I think now we can lower prices on plants and not lose money. And so we've done that now. So lots of savings there compared to a month ago. And then making sure that we visited the farms, which we did, and checking quality, checking to make sure they're going to be able to hopefully keep up with the increased demand by lowering prices. Um, and so, yeah, that's all around trying just to improve your guys' experience all around. Yeah, Sarah Woodring says, I still wear the free shirt I got at Aquashell Orlando 4 or 5 years ago, super high quality. Yeah, we haven't been doing many conventions this year. And so the logic that I literally used with the free shirt thing was, if I'm willing to give away 3,000 shirts at a convention, right? Why wouldn't I be willing to give away a shirt when someone spends money with us? Like, that makes sense. Like, we need to figure that out. And then we just had to do lots of data to go like, okay, these shirts aren't cheap, and we need to make sure it's sustainable long term. Not, oops, that cost us way too much money. Turned it off. People feel bad. So, yeah, that's how we justified it. Of like, yeah, I think we can afford. I think afford to spend $125. Like, we can work that in, and yeah. What happened to lace leaf? It's been so difficult to get. Yeah, the Madagascar lace leaf. Is that the one you're talking about? A typhoon hit where they were being farmed probably 5 or 6 years ago, and it basically disrupted the whole supply. And the other people that were picking up the slack, they weren't very good, and so there was a lot of rotten bulbs and things. And so now they've either found a source or the source has gotten better, like recovered from the typhoon. Those problems don't really exist anymore, and so we can now sell them and give them aquarium co-op treatment and give you guys the aquarium co-op service level. Because when we got mushy bulbs, we just ended up refunding lots. And, back when we were having problems and we were having to throw away a lot of the plants, like crinums, we were selling $15, $17.99. Right now on the website, $9.99. Like, that's a good value. So get while the getting's good, because I do expect some aquarium co-op effect. Like, we go to the farms, and it's understood that we are one of the biggest clients of these farms. And it's like, well, you only have a few thousand crinums. That, like, if you're not on it, that's only gonna last 5 or 6 weeks if we go crazy. If we do the co-op effect, like, are you gonna be able to keep up with this? And like, we think so. So we're trying to throttle into it. Like, right now, I think we're only buying maybe 50 or 100 of each, knowing that, like, well, the day after Christmas, so many people are buying, we could sell 500 just in that weekend. So we'll be restocking them every week. We're trying to feather them back in, give them a runway, so it's not we sell all of them and then we're sold out for 3 or 4 months. So we're trying to avoid that problem for everybody. Would the root tabs dissolve slowly in a hang-on back and fertilize a water column, nearing my 5-year milestone? I've never tried that. They do dissolve with water. I just have no idea, like, yeah, I couldn't tell you, like, that's the best idea we've ever heard, or you're going to get the worst algae outbreak ever. In my mind, I'm just like, just use Easy Green. We formulate it to do that, where from a hobbyist standpoint, I am a guy that would try that. Like, I would be like, I'm going to just try it in this tank over here. So if you want to do that testing and let us know, that'd be great. That'd save me a little bit of time, and then I'll test it. I tried to, I posted the Corridora egg experiment that I did on the community page there. So I try to do little experiments all the time, even when they're not with our products and stuff. Just, my brain's always going, I wonder if everybody says do this, do we have to do that? So I'm setting up an aquarium co-op auto feeder, and I'm curious if you've used Magic Small Fish Feed and Easy Community Pellets in the aquarium co-op feeder. Any suggestions for a ratio of each? You're saying like both in the feeder at one time. I've never done that. I don't know about that. I feel like that's asking for trouble. Like, as it spins one time, a bunch of Magic Small Fish Feed's going to come out, and then another time, mostly pellets will come out. But yeah, lots of people are feeding both of those. And there's also, if you're in the 3D printing world, there's on the forum some extra parts you can make to make the hoppers bigger and dose out in different ways. And it can get a little in depth there, but customizing is always fun. So happy to found and join the community. Well, I'm glad to hear that. If you're always looking for more community, we have it on the forum. It's I want to say on average it's less than 1,000 people a month. But there are people that you'll see month after month after month, and you can see like some people are keeping journals for 4, 5, 6 years. It's not just like our Facebook group that we've basically abandoned. It's not just every day, hey, I'm setting up my first fish tank. Hey, this is a problem. So I guess I don't want to say it's more advanced. It's not necessarily always more advanced because that scares newbies off. It's just it's like joining a club, I guess, or just you're gonna see the same people and you're gonna they'll get to know your tanks, you'll get to know theirs, you'll know their personalities. Like those things will develop that are much harder to develop, in my opinion, on Facebook or Instagram or even here. Like the chats do a decent job. So live streams of chats, that does a decent job. You guys get to know each other pretty well. But so many other aspects of the comment section on a video and that not really. There's not enough going back and forth. And what I love the most about the forum is you can post pictures, which means I can see the pictures, which means I can get inspired, and everybody's kind of contributing, and everybody is the influencer there. Like if I'm on the forum by myself, it's terrible, right? Because I've got no one to talk to. If there's 1,000 other fish nerds like me on there, it's much better. So I really enjoy it over there. And every day we have paid staff, paid moderators, people that work for the company. And the thing I'll point out that I don't think anybody else, I shouldn't say anybody else, I don't know of any other aquatic company doing it, but you have the owner, you have the vice president, you have the director of company culture on there, you have Candy on there, you have all of our customer service people on there, you have our store manager on there, and other employees too. So like, it's an actual space where you can have actual conversations and see stuff real time, as opposed to a different corporation where it's like, oh no, we put one social media person on that, just make sure there's not hate speech, like don't engage, don't do this. Like we're there and we're hanging out, and we're talking memes, we're talking in-depth fish nerd stuff, we're talking all kinds of stuff. So Amazon has consistently delivered one day earlier than what the co-op says. That's good to hear. We actually tune our algorithms to, another one of our core principles is under promise and over deliver as much as possible. And we get stats. It tracks it real time. So every month we'll look at it and go, hey, are we meeting that? Or is like, did we slow down? Bad weather? Or, real busy during Christmas? There's some things like that, which I should bring that up. If you ordered when brine shrimp came back into stock Tuesday, was that Tuesday? Yeah, Tuesday. We didn't ship anything out. We packed some things, but not brine shrimp and not plants on Wednesday. Today's Thursday. We're going to ship as much as possible on Friday. It's all hands on deck. I mean, there's lots of people that will be there. I unfortunately won't be because I'm on the other side of the country, but Randy will be packing, HR will be packing, customer service will be packing. We will be getting as many possible packages out tomorrow as we can, and then people get the weekend off, and then we'll catch up on Monday, basically. So give us that little bit of leeway, because we do pride ourselves in you order, and within 24 hours, Monday through Friday, we will get that out. A lot of you have experienced, they pack that within an hour. Like, yes, we go out of our way, we overstaff, we do things so that we are the opposite of the average shipping experience. So in other hobbies, you order and things like that, it's been 10 days, they haven't shipped it out yet. Like, what are they doing? We try in our world, we want 10 minutes or 10 hours. So I figure you give us our money, you want that as fast as possible. I do. Whenever I order something, I'm super pumped. Like, yeah, try that. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Or I always want it before, like, if I gotta have that by Saturday, it better be here by Saturday. I want to do it Saturday, not like, well, it didn't come, I gotta do something else. Let's see here. I'm from India and I can't buy stuff from you, but learned a lot from your videos. Any different species in stocking? Oh, wait, about different species in stocking and care. Yeah. Maybe one day we'll be in India. India is a huge market. I hope to be worldwide someday, but I also don't. I've also realized in this year I can't do it all, which I've always known, but every time I venture into something, it takes away from something else. So if I'm really working on how do we get in the UK, I'm not developing a product. If I'm really working on how we're not going out of business from tariffs, I'm not developing products, or I'm not making videos, or I'm not doing things. And so I get reminded every 3 months basically of like my job is to be in front of a camera and work with products and learn about the hobby and try to read the people's wants. Like, what do we need? What is missing? What will serve as many people as possible? And when I get involved into other things, that pulls me from doing that. And then we know, like, hey, are you inventing anything? Are you working on anything, Corey? Like, I am, but I'm behind. And so it's hard to have others do that with my skill set and my knowledge. Like, now that I'm 10 years into working on products and doing that, it's really hard to spin somebody else up and they don't know, like, well, here's why we didn't do that last time. We ran into this complication or this production issue or this thing. So yeah, I gotta keep where I'm most useful. It's not that I couldn't be useful in many places. I gotta stay where I'm most useful. Christmas evening with Corey back on the live stream whilst I feed my fish room. It's a good day. Yes, if you've been a member, or not even just a member, if you've been around for a while, you know that it used to be every year I would live stream on Christmas and Thanksgiving, and depending on the year, sometimes I do it on Thanksgiving, sometimes I'm doing it on Christmas. I've flip the scale or the balance or whatever a little bit more, so that I put family first, business second. In the first 10 years of business, it was always business first, family second. And so it just so happened to work out like, my grandma, who's now 93 and has, dementia, and it's getting progressively worse over time. Like, it's not unbearable yet, but each Christmas she's a little bit less there. And so this Christmas will be tonight with her and my main family. And so I thought, yeah, I can get in here and I can hang out with friends online for a while. And because to me, it was always, it still is important. I never want, one of my big things is I never want anyone to feel left out. And I know there's lots of people who don't have family on Christmas, or maybe it's not that you don't have family, it's you're living too far away, you can't travel to them. Or I think I just heard word that one of my inner circle people, they're sick, and so they're not going to hang out with their family. And so providing a space where you could come and feel included on these days, because a lot of times these days are the most lonely for people. So I'm a very shy person in real life, in that if I was to go do a new hobby, let's say it was remote control cars or something, I won't be boisterous. I won't be going, hey, could I attend? Hey, I'd be the quiet person in the corner trying to observe and not be noticed, basically. And so I try to go out of my way to hunt those people out, make them feel very awkward, but get them in the conversation. And because I find, at least for me, once the barrier's broken down, I have a lot better time in those situations. So I try to facilitate that for as many people that want it. Some people don't want it, and I understand that as well. So I try not to go too far. The Marineland hang-on back intake adapter for the Penguin Pro 375 fits the Tidal 110 perfectly. Really? How? The Marineland hang-on back intake fits the Tidal 110 perfectly. I love the horizontal device to the vertical position. Like, does it just happen to fit the tube? Is that what you're telling me? Because, like, we made individual adapters for each, but that would be a happy coincidence if the other one just happens to mate up to that tube perfectly to give a second option. I would love to put that in the description for people. Just options are always good. So that'd be a happy accident. Let's see. Ah, James Holbrook. Good to see you around. Newer member, long time fan of the channel. My dad returned to me yesterday, and we brought in hospice my last Christmas with him. I've had those as well with like my aunt and things like that. So my sympathy for that, and yeah, cherish it while you can. I always approach that with, let's make it as good as we can. There's always like, yeah, but this and this and this are going wrong. Like, oh yes, that will happen. But let's look to the bright side of that. Like, what can we get out of it that's still a positive? So I hope that for you. Yeah, John says it does fit the tube. Awesome. I've got a 110 up there. I'm going to print one and play with that because that's just a cool accident. Your baby brine shrimp post was shared by our club, the SAS, on our band group. Lots of excited folks. Yeah, I will say the brine shrimp egg story arc for me has been crazy. Because Dean and I set out on a path basically to find the world's best brine shrimp eggs. And it took a long time. And then we go to launch them and they're more expensive. And boy, howdy, did a lot of influencers just crap all over us. Breeders, how dare you? I would never buy that. They're expensive. Blah, 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 blah. And I was really down on the product I mean, like, they are the best brine shrimp. There's no doubt. But just like, every time we'd say anything about it, people would just light us up in the comments like, ugh, like, this doesn't feel good. Like, we're not even making money. I'm taking a mental beating here. And then, so we hadn't had it for, I want to say it's like at least 6 months this year. And the redemption arc on the other side is that through all the travels, all the talking with people, they would say like how good the eggs are and they really want them back. Like, and that was huge because the loudest voices were the minority of like, we're angry that it's not free or cheaper and the best quality and the thing. And so to find that people were legitimately invested in, you have to bring them back. Like, you have to, Corey. Like, it's not a matter of if, it's a you have to. It saves me so much time and so much, and I get better yields and all of this. And I was like, okay, so there are a big group of people that get it, because it really felt like, even the reviews would come in. It's like, I think we have over 1,000 positive reviews, but as an influencer, I haven't leveled up to wise old man status yet that can let me just shrug that off. Because every piece of feedback you guys give, whether it's a comment or a review, which I love the reviews, by the way. If you leave reviews, I love that. I read them and I study them. So it's like, ooh, maybe that is an idea to make this better. Like, maybe we can have the intake adapter for the Penguin 375 also fit the 110. Like, I really try to digest and, mark down data and go, maybe we should try to make this change or something. Let's look into that. And so it's hard not to let that affect me, though, when there's the negative comments too. If it's like, okay, I feel like I really gotta focus when someone's having a problem. I don't want to dismiss that going, oh no, they are the best. We are the best. We're always good. So I double down on, someone's being critical here. Let me try and digest that and make sure that we're doing as much as we can with that. So we lost our front toes that we've had for over 14 years last week. It was a rough one, and we missed. That's a long time with a fish. He or she, the front toe is probably like a foot long. Like, that's always hard. But also cool that you kept a fish alive for that many years. That's a feat. Oh, and you hand feed them for over a decade? Yeah, I mean, that's, with my Mabu puffers, I definitely cried. It was like losing a dog to me. I'm a big baby then too. Yeah, I mean, that's why I'm attracted to bigger fish and especially puffers and things like that. And 14 years, like, that's just, I don't know how old you are, but some people, I'd be like, that's half your life, or that's a third of my life I've been with this caring. That's the thing, you're caring. That's why I call it care. You're caring for this animal. Of course, it's going to affect you, and you care when it's time for it to pass on and everything. So, yeah, all I'll say is good on you. 14 years, if you think of 14 years as a chunk of life, like the amount of power outages, the amount of things that go wrong, you could let water go bad, you could have all these things happen. I'm sure there were diseases, every X amount of years, and you played doctor for that whole time. Sounds like a good job was done. So it's nice that you have curated products that I know are great quality, even if they have a higher price. I do, yeah, I consider us the personal shoppers, basically. I don't sell things that I don't get behind. I try to uh really do research and go, I think they're gonna like this. I think this solves the problem people are actually having. And one of the biggest things that I would say, there are products that would just make us money. Oop, I hit the microphone. And we don't sell them. Like, we don't sell outside of a carbon pad, we don't sell carbon at all. That's one of the most lucrative things. We don't sell cartridges for filters. Very lucrative. Newbies that get into the hobby, they go, I have this filter. That one says it's for my filter. I buy that thing. Instead, we take the harder path and try to teach you, what about a reusable pad? What about bio rings? What about something where you won't have to give us your money every month? And they go, no, I'll buy the thing that has the thing. So, but over time, we pick up more and more people that are value oriented like we are, and it tends to be a good relationship. Which, by the way, we do have new bio rings. We have Project Beyonce, which is actually live aquarium cultured bacteria. And so what does that mean? That means we set up, that video came out, right? Yeah. We have a whole section of the warehouse dedicated to growing a big pooping machines, some goldfish shabunkins, and some of them we even raised from eggs. We put through rigorous quarantine. Our goals were minimized disease, duckweed, snails, algae, maximizing available beneficial things on these biorings. So different bacterias, maybe even different little other microorganisms to help break stuff down. And over time, my aspirations of this thing. So while it's new now, in theory, it will only get better with age. And that would be like the concept in saltwater of like miracle mud, where you get a really nice, super well-established system going, and it's got all these little live things that you can introduce and inoculate your aquarium with. And so we're working on that, basically. And there's protocols on can't swap nets, and it's a whole different part of the warehouse to make sure that someone doesn't accidentally introduce duckweed or snails or whatever. And goldfish will also eat lots of that stuff for us too, so they help on that end also. Why do we call it Project Beyonce? Because Randy, the vice president of Aquarium Co-op, one of his great pastimes is finding ways to make dad jokes slash torment me in a fun, polite way. And so Project Beyonce has a song, I think, called Put a Ring on It. Is that my Beyonce Put a Ring on It? Is that what it is? Yes, Put a Ring on It. And so Randy loves to, so we have another project right now called Project Gimli. And he loves, I'm going to call it like the folklore of giving things secret names. He loves that. And so, we all play along and we roll our eyes going, yep, that's the name of this thing. And it actually, it took so long to do this project, between quarantining, setting up the systems, and doing all the things, that every time I have to say what the product name is, I can't remember it, because I've said Project Beyonce 1,000 times, and I've said live aquarium bacteria starter culture 20 times. And so, and Randy loves that troll. The fact that he can break my brain with no one's going to know if I say Project Beyonce, because that's an internal name only. So, yeah. So now we currently have Project Gimli. And some of the other project names we've had is Project Mini-Me. We still do that one. And that one, that one's code for us of anytime we turn something smaller. So like if we only had the 60 count, we'd project mini me to the 20 count, right? We also, oh, that's a good point. I think in January sometime, maybe early February, we will have Project Mini Me version of the Magic Small Fish feed. Oop, this one right here. So it will come in a 1 ounce thing as well, for the people that might only have like, I've got 1 5-gallon with some Brigitte Rasboras. I don't need a whole 4 ounce container of it because it's going to last a super long time for just 1 5-gallon. So, yeah, but it helps. I don't know. I think it keeps business a little more fun and lighthearted because there are definitely, there's a lot of meetings that we take where we might be discussing someone's employment in the company. We might be discussing financials. Like it can be sometimes very hard, stressful topics, and we're working long hours and really trying hard to figure out something for the company. And to be able to bring a crack a smile, a joke, a little thing, the camaraderie or whatever, it does help lighten the whole intensity sometimes. And so it's a welcome thing. That's always, it's welcome to let that creep in a bit to, I don't know, makes us mesh better together, I think. Do you think if somebody made a modern Aquabid, an exchange between YouTubers, etc., sending new members with a code would be a good idea in exchange for highlighting them in a partner highlight spotlight? Do I think that's a good idea? No, I don't. Do I think YouTubers should do it anyway? Yes, but there's a lot of ideas that I in business. It seems like this should work, but it just ends up not working. I think because the community, the hobby, the whatever needs an Aquabid so badly that all YouTubers, if once one started to win, would get in line and help promote that. Reason being is the bigger the hobby is, the better it is for a YouTuber, a fish YouTuber, right? And so obviously there's a little bit of trust there of, and it's always a worry with any influencer, YouTuber type person. You support something, and then if they change something and do something bad 5 years later, you, as guilty by association, is not so good. So my fear would be, hey, everybody should go use Aquabid 2.0. It's great. I love it. And then a year later, they change the fee structure to like 30% or something. And then there's 100 videos where Corey said, Aquabid 2.0 is great. And what am I going to edit all that out? Am I going to delete them all? Like what's going to happen? And so it's a trust thing that becomes difficult. But what I've found, at least for us, even if I pay people, they don't do the job. Most YouTubers aren't influencers. They don't actually have the influence, which I'm sure X amount of them would take up, that argument with me. But the definition of having influence and changing what people are going to buy is much different in most of the people that we've worked with. In their mind, like, well, I'll mention you, and if they buy it, then I get paid. And it's like, but that's not influence. You're not an influencer. You're not influencing them to buy it. You're mentioning it. A product mention is much different than having the influence to actually have someone buy it. And so, yeah, I think YouTubers or fish YouTubers could have a lot of mentions of an Aquabid 2.0 and help gain awareness. However, the influence part, I don't think a lot do well. And the reason being, like, I basically am a full-time influencer for Aquarium Co-op. I have to live, eat, and breathe and live stream on Christmas and talk about our products and try to explain why they're good, why we did them this way, why they might fit you well, where the alternative would be maybe in a lot of live streams we're like, hey, and don't forget to buy our crap. That's a mention, not really influencing you. The influence is a very big long-term project of trying to, so a lot of times, like we'll be putting out videos with Imperial Tropicals. We are trying to be an influencer for Imperial Tropicals. Yes, we have an affiliate deal. We get paid when you guys buy from them. But as part of that, we flew out. Randy filmed a video. I filmed a video. You'll be seeing behind the scenes thing. We looked at the owner. We learned about the farm and how it's been there for many generations, all the different things they've been going through, looked at how well they're actually breeding fish, and I was very impressed. I was very impressed, honestly. And so I'm trying to influence you guys with all of that to, yeah, support them. It really feels like a good place to be supporting a mom and pop farm that's been in the farm or in the family for like since the late 60s or early 70s, from generation to generation. And to see the employees, like I even saw their cool Christmas party they did. I got to meet, different employees, and so not that other places are bad, I just wouldn't be able to show you that yet, right? So like Daku Aquatics, we, hopefully some influence to spend some money with Daku Aquatics. We don't get paid for that, but he's a good dude. So, yeah. Can you make a brine shrimp egg that my cats won't take from me? Nope. We make it taste so good that they want it. Same with our fish food; they'll eat it. Do we have a favorite Christmas movie? Well, I can say yesterday. We watched Home Alone, kind of in the background. Every year since my wife, I want to say like maybe 5 years ago or some amount of time, she'll correct me. I could say any number right now. It's one of those, like, there is no right number. I could say 212 years ago, 20 minutes ago, 11 days ago. It wouldn't matter. There's no way I can be correct on this. But ever since I believe I introduced / went, oh my God, you haven't watched Die Hard? Like, that's the ultimate Christmas movie. And so she watched it, and now we watch it every year. Like, yeah, we'll be on our phones or working, and it's just like, and then it both makes us laugh when we say yippee-ki-yay, yay. And so, yeah, most of those, like, I think we're both really in love with snow and Christmas. I don't want to say Christmas movies, but the life of Christmas, as in there's snow out, you're with family, work is different, like all the things are different. It's a good time. I think one of my favorite times ever was when we were in Hawaii on vacation in December. It was super cool to see Santa like on a surfboard, and we went to the mall and they had like all the bubbles instead of snow, and so just the concept of Christmas life, I think, is real appealing to us. I'm not big on the actual giving or getting of the presents, that part, but just the family part. So the family yesterday, not including me, I was working, I took meetings and stuff, but they made tamales. So they made birria tamales and chicken tamales from scratch, like ground up. They had to buy like freeze dried chilies, like 3 or 4 different types of those, all that kind of stuff. It was a whole day event. And everybody's making these tamales, and I got to eat them. But bringing the family together, working out whether they're making cookies that year, whether it's the big dinner that year, whatever it is, that for us in our family, it only happens around Thanksgiving and Christmas. We don't really do that for birthdays or anything. Birthdays, like, yeah, we'll come over and we'll celebrate, a birthday, especially for kids. But we don't do the whole, like, they started like smoking the meat or whatever days ahead of time. Like, it was a whole big thing that got orchestrated out of here. So that part is fun. Mike at Imperial is a super nice person. Stumbled upon them while visiting family in Lakeland. He gave me a 2-hour tour, even though I didn't know it was appointment only. Yeah, they, him and his wife and the crew there, and that is a cool thing. If you're ever in Florida / you live there, you can book an appointment. I think you have to spend a minimum of $50 or something, because they don't want just 10,000 people being looky-loos, because that wouldn't get any work done, right? But you can get a tour of the facility, which is awesome. And I think the biggest thing about Mike or Imperial Tropicals or whatever, they love fish like I love fish. So I was talking to an employee, and he works on breeding different bettas that aren't splendens. He's geeking out about different apistos and stuff like that. Like, it's always cool when you're talking to the employees and they're also into it. It's not just like, oh, well, I get paid to be here. And so when you have that aspect working in the business and on the business, you get better product out of it. Meaning, they're going to care about the fish more. They're going to try to keep them healthier. They're going to be more excited when something comes in, something cool comes in, all of that stuff. And that translates to, by the time it reaches your doorstep, you'll see that quality difference, I think. So Corey taught me how to treat customers, and I think, that went away. Let me scroll up. And I think with a more business mentality. Yeah, mostly I had to learn through trial and error of that, and I'm so vocal about it. Even like my sister-in-law, her boyfriend, even they've caught on to like, oh, Corey's gonna be angry when he hears this story, because I hate epic failures of customer service where it's less resistance, less work, less problem by doing the right thing, and they've gone out of their way to do the wrong thing and shot themselves in the foot. And so yeah, it's almost everything can be reduced down to, do they have a good, clean bathroom for the public? I swear that's almost the litmus test for a good business. It's such a weird thing that they say that for restaurants too: clean bathroom, clean kitchen, right? But in general, if you want a good grocery store, ask to use the bathroom. If it's nice and clean and good, the employees, they probably care, and they're going to be more pleasant to talk to, and they're keeping the shelves stocked. And for some reason, no one wants to clean the bathroom, but everybody on the planet appreciates a clean bathroom. When you need to use the bathroom and you're out in public, you're going, please let this not be a nightmare. And so if your company takes the time to go, let's make sure we're not the nightmare scenario for our potential customers, and let's clean it up when we have our nightmare customers. We've had customers that, like, you basically have exploded in this bathroom, and it is horribly embarrassing for you. Real not fun for us, but you reset the bathroom so it's ready for the next customer. And if the businesses are doing that, oftentimes the rest of the business, they've carried that work and care ethos to the rest of the business, and it will have a better result for it. It's a weird thing. I happened to stumble upon it, and it was because, as a hobbyist, I would drive up to 4 or 5 hours to go to a fish store, or visit. Maybe it's only 2 hours to get to a fish store, and I'm there trying to spend money, because that's why I drove there. I'm looking for cool fish. You got any big clown lunches? Any oddball patterns? What do you got? Any cool live bears? I'll buy them. And then when you're like, hey, do you have a bathroom I can use, while you're checking out for $100, and they go, no, and you're just like, really? Because my wife has got to pee so bad, and so do I. And they're like, yeah, you can go across the street and use the bathroom. I just thought that, I still think that's insane. You're going to give me your money, but you won't let me use your bathroom. And I think that sets the whole tone for a working relationship, and customer service and all of that. There's, to me, if you got to use a bathroom, of course you would let someone in your house use the bathroom if they were your friend. And I'm trying to turn a light off as I do this. It doesn't make sense to me to not provide that thing that is the most critical thing. If anyone that has a bladder has been in a situation of like, oh man, I need to use the restroom pretty badly. I need to stop what I'm doing and go find a restroom. And to not provide that as a core business principle, they're going to stop and leave your business to go use the restroom. And they're going to remember that experience, and they're not going to want to come back, especially when you're building your business around, I would love it if you drove 5 hours to get here. I would love it if you flew in from another country. I would love it if you drove 45 minutes. I would love it if you drove 15 minutes and you asked your kids if they had to go to the bathroom. They said no, and you got here, and now they got to go to the bathroom. I want to help with all of that so that you can have the experience in the store of like, great, I drove, I've used the bathroom, I am now ready to look at fish. Like that's every business. Replace fish. I drove, I need to use the bathroom, and now I am ready to eat your pizza. And now I'm ready to buy a vacuum cleaner. And now I'd like to buy a car. And now I'd like to buy hamster food. And now I'd like to buy a shirt. Whatever it is, that series of events works for every single business. And yet, I want to say 30 to 40% of businesses fail. They just fail at that entire premise, which blows my mind. I hate when I have to use the restroom and it's terrible. I hate it so bad. Changing water over there. Who's live streaming on a Thursday? Doesn't the water change schedule know I'm live streaming right now? Come on. I gotta turn that off. It's gonna get louder and louder in here. It's gonna make me have to go pee. All right, let me turn this bad boy off. 20-minute water change on the 800 gallon. Stopped. My dad was a great businessman, and he was a stickler about the bathrooms of businesses he shopped. Yeah, I agree. My local fish store won't let anyone use their bathroom, but when they used to, it was a horrible experience. Yeah, I have this hot take where it's like, don't give me your money. I am very pro mom and pop. I am more pro basic human need of like, in a lot of states, not having a public bathroom would literally just be illegal. Like, you have to provide a bathroom. So this is the other thing I think about, right? So if their bathroom is so bad, they won't let you use it. Their employees have to use it every day. And that's its own. Yeah, okay. And this, I think how I got so warped on this was the fish store I worked for before I opened my own. Every week, there would be times where there's no toilet paper. And so I had to keep extra toilet paper in my own car. And I ended up just being the one that, like, I would go buy toilet paper and then take money out of the till and be like, you seriously need to get on top of this. Like, this is ridiculous that I, as an employee, wouldn't have toilet paper to use the restroom, and I have to work solo, and I'm here myself for 8 hours, and B, that we wouldn't have toilet paper for someone who drove, because this place was out of the way. Like, everyone had to drive there at a distance, and so it made it like, when I own my own store, everybody all the time can go to the bathroom. That was basically my store. How I would decide at Aquarium Co-op, which didn't have a name at that point, but how I decided my fish store was going to be good, I literally just wrote down what all of my competitors were doing wrong, in my opinion, and said, I'm going to do the opposite. And so I was going to be open after work. Crazy concept. I wasn't going to kick people out of the store at 5:45 on a Saturday. I was going to provide a bathroom. I was going to provide parking where you could reasonably show up and just park in the parking lot and not have to drive around the block to find a parking spot. I was going to, one of them legit on this piece of paper was utilize social media and a website instead of, at the time, everybody would just have like this website's under construction. I still see it today where stores like, you haven't posted on your Facebook page or anything in 2 years? You haven't had anything to tell your customers in 2 years? Drives me nuts. So we did receive a bad review, a 3-star review yesterday. Because again, I read all the reviews, guys. I really do take it to heart. And they were angry that we didn't have a phone number. It said something to the effect of, I was coming to Aquarium Co-op to spend a sizable amount of money. In the year 2025, you still need to have a phone number to call you. I couldn't figure out your store hour number or your store hours. We had updated Google. We had updated other places. We posted on the forum. You know, we had it posted a week before. They could have emailed customer service. But yes, we don't have a phone number, and we fail the local customers because of our internet presence. Anyone who works a store, when our phone number gets out, will be like, the phone literally never stops ringing. And when I'm talking to someone, people just get a busy signal, and then they leave really angry emails about how the phone's always busy. And so, short of setting up a call center, which we're not going to do, we unfortunately have to, yes, we cannot just pick up the phone and say, yep, we're open, or we're closing at 5 tonight. And that's going to be one of the things that we have a hard time. Like, if you call, which, by the way, you can get the phone number for the store by going to the store and being like, hey, do you have a phone number? I want to call and leave a message. Because we're not going to pick it up. We don't even have phones like in the store at this point. But you could leave a message. And, but even on that, it's like, hey, all the lines are going to be busy. No, you won't be talking to Corey. Like, this is the retail store only. Like, we will try to call you back during a lunch break or any time we can get back to you. But just know, we get a lot of calls and a lot of messages every day. So we try. Best way, email. We have dedicated people almost 24 hours a day answering emails. That will be the quickest, fastest thing to help you. And we will be quick. I promise you we will be quick. Can you set up an AI phone response? We probably could. I'm pretty anti-AI. I'm banking my future on, if everybody else goes AI, we'll just serve the people that want to talk to someone who's actually spawned that fish or actually dealt with that disease before, and not the AI bot saying, well, other people that have done this thing think it's this. Because fish disease, spawning fish, caring for fish is crazy nuanced. And I'm not certain that AI will be good at that for quite a long time, because there's still lots of fish we don't even know how to spawn at this point in our lives, like in the hobby. And so we're still trying to figure it out. How long will it take something that's figured out like that to get all the way to an AI to get you to help? I think it'll take a long time. So we'll see. I will always say I can be proven wrong. In fact, I have been proven wrong by Randy. I told him yesterday, I said, there is nothing I hate worse than when Randy proves me wrong. Mostly just because he loves proving me wrong and I don't like being wrong. So, and that would be over a product. I officially said, I don't think enough people are going to want and will need the feeding port, 3D printed feeding port. And turns out the 2 reviews we have, both people have bought like 7+ and love them. Because I was like, yeah, but it's kind of a niche product. Like, yeah, I could see myself using some. And here it is. The people that are buying it are like, man, this is the best thing ever. And so I was wrong. And Randy was right. Because I was like, yeah, let's do it. We developed it. Like, sure, may as well. And I wasn't hyped on it. And here it is, like, oh man, this thing, it turned out way better than we thought. Like, you were right, Randy. Like, that's why, as we will say in that's why I pay you the big bucks. You were right. Keep me honest. Maybe you can have an AI answering service that just states your hours. Well, we already have that. If you call, it will. We don't update that to be like, we're going to be open a half day before Christmas. And here's my crazy thing. I would never, any business I want to partake in, I would never leave a bad review because the day before Christmas or Christmas, I was unsure of their hours or couldn't get a hold of them. Because I just assume most businesses you just won't be able to anyway. Now, I would say leave me 1,000 one-star reviews if you had called up and said, hey, I'm coming Christmas Eve. I will be there at 5. Will you be open? And we say, well, you wouldn't call me. You would email me. You would email me and we say, yes, we will be open at 6 p.m. on Christmas Eve. And you show up and we're closed. I deserve 1,000 one-star reviews for that. We have failed you horribly. Now, if it's 3 p.m. on Christmas Eve and you're not getting a rapid response from this company, the logical person goes, I bet you they're closed right now. That makes sense. Christmas Eve. I get it, right? But some would leave a 3-star review going, I could not reach them. Couldn't find a phone number. And the funny thing is, like, you could, in my opinion, you can find our phone number pretty easily. We're gonna ignore you, but you can find it. It's on there. It's not that hard to find. Also, if you just Google it, it had our hours yesterday. So I'm always like, well, if you're not even willing to Google it, like how much weight do I didn't let that one ruin Christmas Eve for me. I was like, what are you gonna do? People are people. It is what it is. There's a 3D printed auger that feeds some magic small fish feed available on the forum. Yes, there is. We try to, so the items that I don't think are mass market viable, we try to we develop them and then we kind of release them to the public. Now, that being said, JMC worked on that himself, and I was like, yeah, do it. And I'm still going to probably work on some myself, as in use some. But, yeah. You could advertise an automated number that would explain that to people, or we could do the thing where we just post our business hours, because Yelp and Google and everyone will ask you, are you open? Do you have weird hours? And then we update that. So we could spend time marketing, hey, here's a phone number which you could call. You've reached Movie Phone. Aquarium Co-op will be open. And then it'll say December 24th between 11 a.m. and 4 p.m. Would you like to repeat this option? That type of thing. Or we could save everybody time and trouble of like, Google, is Aquarium Co-op open? And then it'll just show you like, oh yes, they are or aren't open. In fact, it's so good. Let me make sure here. Aquarium Co-op open. It says we're closed. It says we're closed because of Christmas hours, because we updated our Christmas hours. Insane. But it'll also show you a graph of how many people are in the store. Are we busy or not busy right now? Like, these things exist, but there's only so much time in the day of like, do we want to spend time trying to tell people to call a phone number to get an automated response, or should we just advertise that we are or aren't open? So I hear you. There's always you could do more, but it also sometimes people just don't even look in the right place at all. So, oh yes, you can access the 3D printed file on the forum, not the actual thing. So like, you can't just go there and like magically appear, but you can get the 3D print file. What gift did I get Dean this year? My friendship. How dare he? No, I got him. Him and his wife. I say we. It was me, but we sent him a 12 Days of Cheesemas. So it's a box of things. I think like Cheese Brothers or something like that. I bought one for myself as well. And so you get 12 different cheeses to try, and because it's I try to do something like that like every year. Like last year I bought. I don't know if I got Dean one, but I try to do like adventy calendary edible type stuff because it's hard to shop for lots of people. I'm terrible at it. I don't have a lot of time, and so got everybody, not everybody, like, but yeah, some people got some cheese because it was like, yeah, don't have to eat it all at once. It's fine. It'll work. And the cheeses were good, so it was good. Yeah, I just tried it. Google knows your phone number. Yes, I know. We try very hard to scrub it off because that's actually worse, in my opinion. It's worse that you find our phone number and then we don't answer it. Yes, you can listen and then it'll say like, we're not going to answer it and here's why. But if we had an option, our phone number not being accessible anywhere is what we would choose, because I just don't like communication where it's not going to be quick. Email, very quick. We have set our business up around email. Email us. You go on the website, guess what it says? Email us. Email us. We will get back to you. I promise. Let's see. If you need a 3D printed thing, there are services online that do it, but a lot of local libraries can do it for minimal cost too. Yeah. So you could say, print this thing and mail it to me. Online services do that. You can email, or maybe even call your local library and say, hey, this is why I don't like calling, because you could call them and like, yeah, we do that. And then they're going to be like, yeah, email us the file. Where if you just start with email, hey, do you use 3D print things? And they go, yes, we do. Just send us the file. Then you just reply and send the file. Like, and that's, I don't like inefficiencies. And I find phone to be very inefficient because people love talking on the phone and not getting to the point. And then I'm like, cool, do you have a picture? And they're like, oh, yeah, I have to email it to you. And I'm like, yep, should have done this through email. It's always, a picture is always better. So. Ooh, I just did that thing. I was watching like a weather live stream and the guy kept, and I was able to break myself of that habit years ago because it was driving people nuts in live stream, and I just noticed I did it. I was like, oh, I gotta put a stop to that. Let's see here. I wouldn't leave a bad review if the shipping went wrong, but it was the fault of the post office. But it was the fault of the post office of the shipping process if the item was shipped out when it was supposed to. That sounds like it might be part of another conversation I'm missing. Let's see here. I think my team's blowing up on stuff. What are they laughing about? Oh man. On our Randy just said a thing to me. Someone posted on the Aquarium Co-op Facebook group. The post says, "Boy, I was shocked to find out Aquarium Co-op doesn't carry the Fluwall 3.0 light anymore. When did that happen?" This is the kind of stuff that blows my mind. It's like, how many videos, how many things, how much advertising we do about our own light? Like, our last 3.0 was sold 5 years ago. Like, marketing in general is really hard. I could spend all day for the next 10 years like advertising our hours at the store, and you still get people like, couldn't find it. Yeah. What are my plans for the pond? Hopefully build out the dock. So the dock was all rotted, could fall through, get hurt. Over this summer, we tore that part down. We that's not the right word. We installed 4 more pylons, so 2 sets of 2 further into the pond, because the pond is fed by a natural creek. When that dries up in the summer, it doesn't get fed water anymore, so the water level goes down. And the way that where the dock ended before, the water would recede, and if you look down, you just saw dirt. So my goal was to get it further into the pond, and I want to install like a fish food feeder so that it could feed every day automatically and not just put food onto the dirt, right? So we also ran water and power to it so that we could install filtration, and I didn't have to run a long extension cord for the air pump anymore, and I can get a plug-in like koi feeder or something maybe, and maybe put a couple lights. Well, I don't think we're gonna do a gazebo again, so just a dock. But yeah, so that's the plan right now, is get it to where it's easier to enjoy it, where before you kind of had to stand on the edge and kind of look into it. And there's Randy, the old Aquarius podcast. When did Aquarium Co-op stop carrying cobalt flake food? Yeah, we were talking about that in a meeting yesterday. One of the first things that I made Randy do, like in the first year, we axed so many products. I'm like, cobalt flake food's got to go. Like, too many of their foods aren't good. I did like their flake, but I didn't like the blue probiotic flake. And we just brought Randy on, and then we're able to cut out all the things we didn't want to sell anymore, and then work on supplying the things that we did want. So, have we found a new supplier for Aquarium Co-op lights? Maybe. We have quotes for molds. We're asking for some more things. Just to give a real world perspective, if we went with this company to get the first prototype, so to make one light, so we sent them a light, and we said, like, we want to make this. basically. We got some tweaks. I want to try to upgrade or, make some changes, hopefully. But let's assume we wanted this exact light. What are we looking at? And so we got a price quote of like, it would cost this. Like, okay, it's in line with what we used to pay. And then, but for them to open the molds to make all the parts, to get the first prototype, so to get one working prototype is about $6,000. So when you do that math, one light, $6,000. Wow, that's expensive, right? And if they don't do a good job, that's just, you've lost $6,000. That's it. Like, oh, you have terrible quality control. This isn't even close. It's not safe or whatever. Like, then we got to have people inspect it, all kinds of things, right? So it's $6,000 for one prototype, and that's the hard part. Like, and so probably the next round, Randy, if he's listening still, probably the next round, once they kind of get back some other quotes from us, will be, what lights do you already make? Do you have any? Send us those. We want to look at those. What's the quality, the fit, the finish, the feel? Like, what do you guys consider to be your best work? Send me that. I want to see what you think your best work is. And then if I go, this is pretty good, then we'll invest $6,000, and we'll hope that it, like, they take our version of light and it comes out that well, passes the, can I beat it on the floor? Can I beat the ladder with it? Can I put it underwater? Can I do all of these things? Will it hold up? And then if it does, that's when you start going, okay, well, we need to order $250,000 worth, right? So that's where we're at in the process right now. Is we're evaluating, do we want to make one $6,000 prototype? Which is further than we were, because if you'd asked me 3 months ago, we had nobody that had gotten to that point yet. So we're at a 50-50 right now. It could be like, yep, this is going to be the vendor, or no, we're still looking for a different vendor. Yeah, does it pass the does it guacamole test? You're right. Look at that. Look at that. Aquarius Podcast, Candy has done it in the past. That's always, I take that as a very good feedback sign from a business owner. My own employees are willing to reinvest their own hard-earned dollars into the Aquarium Co-op community. And I think that's real important to me, that for the most part, like, you can't keep every employee happy and loving the company or whatever, but for the most part, the people remain friends of the co-op even when they don't work for us anymore. And B, while they're working for us, a lot of times, and I don't want this to turn into a thing like, oh man, heard through the grapevine, Corey said, he likes it a lot more if you buy membership. I'm not trying to say that. I just think it's really cool that the people in my company seem to be plugged in with the community and want to see it grow enough that they're willing to donate their own money to make those things happen. Because I feel that way about the hobby, but it makes me think that, like, yeah, we're still fostering a culture that wants to be a part of that. Like, there's days that suck at work for everybody, whether it's cleaning the toilet after someone explodes it, whether it's unloading a brine shrimp container in the cold, whether it's raining or unloading stuff here, like whatever. There's days that are bad. And to see that people still want to invest and grow the thing with everybody to make it better for everyone is a good thing to see, I think. So not as always, but I'll add some onto that. We'll add 10 more. So if you get a free membership, take advantage of the perks. Randy's leaving us. Got to spend time with the family. Good on you. Have a good happy holiday, Randy and family. I always email Candy instead of complaining in public. Well, thank you. I mean, you can complain in public too, but I always prefer it behind the curtain because I don't know, it's what I always am afraid of is that someone will see, like, hey, I just got a plant, it was melted. And then they don't see the resolution of, like, we will 1000% make that right. And they're just going to think, like, yeah, they got bad plants or something, and they've only ever seen us once. So I'm not trying to hide that things go wrong, no doubt. Anyone that ships live goods anyone that even ships dry goods, you ship 10,000 packages a month. Some are going to get lost. Some are going to put the wrong address. Some are, things are going to happen. So the proof in the pudding is what you do after the problem happens. Whatever happened to Lamont? Hope he's doing well. I hope so too. I haven't talked to him in many years. Last I had heard, he was at least back in Washington raising his son with his wife, and so I hope things are well for them. I yeah haven't reached out lately. I maybe I'll try again one of these days. But he got rid of like all social media, as far as I can tell. So he used to at least be on Instagram, but I don't think he's there anymore. So on one hand, I'm like, good for him. Like, just live life. That's commendable. It's impressive that you guys do that. My fellow employees wouldn't pour water on someone if they're on fire. Yeah, I I've always had the concept of you're either on Team Aquarium Co-op or you're off Team Aquarium Co-op. And when you're on a team, you're only as good as your worst player. You know, you don't win if like, oh, the pitcher didn't show up today or whatever. Like it's an all in, all out type of deal. And so, I've cleaned lots of bathroom myself. I will, we try to set up the company that way where, hey, guess what, Randy? It's your week to clean the bathroom. Like, as a company, it makes no sense to have the more they cost per hour to have them clean a bathroom, other than it's very good that everybody sees, like, yeah, I'm not saying you have to clean the bathroom. I'm saying the bathroom has to remain clean and we will all take a turn doing it. And so I think that's an important thing. So sometimes even when it doesn't make sense, like, what do you mean you're doing the airport run, Corey? Like, well, it needs to get done. It makes the most sense for me to do it. I'm gonna do it, and that goes throughout the whole company basically. If we get behind on customer service, I'll be there doing it. If we, that's why Randy and other people will be picking and packing your orders on Friday, because of the way where Christmas landed and everything. We want to get as many of your guys' orders out on Friday as humanly possible. And so, yeah, that it's all hands on deck. If tomorrow I gotta clean tanks at the store, and I'll be there if that's what we need. And same thing, we'll pull people in from other parts of the company. Like, we just need that. Why? Because this person's sick, that thing happened, and we've got to, like, a lot of us will probably be cleaning tanks and getting ready and sweeping the floor and making it look great when you guys come and visit us in Kentucky, for instance, when we're doing the member thing. So it's I'm very, very big on, one of my other personal thoughts is I'll never ask someone to do something that I wouldn't do or haven't already done a million times for the company. Like, that doesn't make sense. So there's things I hate, and I will do everything not to do them. It's not cleaning the toilet after an accident. It is HR stuff. Like, it is customer service. On one hand, I could argue I am the best possible person to do customer service. I know the most about products. I care the most. However, I take it the hardest. The hardest the job's ever been is when I had to field the customer service, because every time something goes wrong, my brain goes into overdrive of how did we fail this person. It is great to have Candy and Asia and Serena and anybody else who steps in, because we'll have Broncho and other retail people do that as well, to deal with the problems and then basically package it up nicely into data and get it back to me to go, okay, I don't have to be emotional about one specific thing that went wrong. I can go, well, overall, we sent 10,000 packages and we had a problem with 86 this month. Okay. And of those 86, was it plants? Was it defective product? Was it lost shipments? Was it this? Do we need to address these? And was there any outliers that you saw as a customer service manager that we should talk about? And some months there are, and some months there aren't. So, that was a huge level up for me. And I think I could be really good customer service for someone else's company, but each customer service interaction, I dwell on it to an unhealthy amount. In a perfect world, I probably should never read our own reviews, but I also believe that's how I make products better, tweak them, get better about it. So it's like a necessary thing. I can't get too far away from it, but I also don't want to be too in it. I placed an order today and forgot to get one of Randy's feeder lids. Is there a way to add it on to the order? Yeah, Candy's answering you there, but in general, email us. And I'm going to say during business hours, even though I know a lot of our employees will like take care of things off of business hours, like Candy. Candy's good at doing that. And I'm not saying that it is Christmas. I'm not saying go do that, Candy. You know, Candy doesn't have to be here right now. No one has to be here. This is Christmas, but people like to be here. And hopefully it's landing in between like, oh yeah, I just had free time. You're on the background. I'm baking cookies, Corey, whatever that looks like. But yes, you email us and we will get that taken care of for you. We'll get that added on. We'll send you an invoice. You'll pay the invoice. It'll be added on your order and go out with your shipment. Assuming you do it quickly. Don't wait till like Saturday and we've already shipped it Friday and be like, well, it's already in the thing. Don't wait till Friday midday if we've already packed it Friday morning. Same thing. G-Bear, you had me laughing. I'm retired January 1st. Well, good on you. I am both looking forward to retirement and not looking forward to retirement. All cards on the table. Technically, I can retire. But there's still so much I want to do. So it used to be, I would say for the first 10, 12 years of Aquarium Co-op, the leading factor was like, yeah, want to buy a house, want to be financially stable, those kinds of things. We have made that. I've made that for myself and a decent amount of employees. Now it's, ooh, do I want to launch a product and make more money? Well, yes, because that's good for everybody. But B, it's mostly like, I just want to see this thing exist in the world. So like, for instance, that giant sponge filter, economically, terrible decision. I have spent way too much money making this meme come to life. But from a professional, I want to do this because I enjoy it thing, I'm like, heck yeah, we're doing that. Like, Randy kind of does that. Literally, this happened in a meeting. I was like, so where are we at with the giant sponge filter? And he was like, oh, you were serious? I'm like, yes, it's been like 3 weeks. Like, where are we at? Like, oh, I kind of thought you were just saying that'd be cool to do, but we're not going to do it. And so, yeah, we're definitely in that. Corey's in his passion project job mode where I would love to find better balance, but in my life, I know this about myself now. I've never had the balance. I'm all in or all out. So, I will say I'm finding a little more balance. I'm only live streaming 2 or 3 hours today as opposed to previous Christmas 8-hour live streams, right? We started out at 8 hours and then we kind of went down to 4 hours and now we might be down to 2 hours. So there might be a day where I actually achieve balance, but so far there's still so much to do. Project Gimli, there's all kinds of stuff that I'm like, ooh, we're going to do that. Candy says, I'm already taking care of some of them. I'm off today and tomorrow, but I want to lighten Asia's load tomorrow. That's right. I think you've got some time off. Good for you. Everyone is obsessing about a new Nintendo Switch, and I'm not a gamer. Glad to nerd out on fish. Yeah. Stephen P says, can I retire instead? Yeah. I got close to like, I want to say like right before, was it before COVID? It's been that long? Yeah. I was trying really hard to figure out how to retire. And what I mean by that is, if I retired, who would make videos? Who would make new products? Who would, like, I can't retire until what the Aquarium Co-op does would keep going in that direction. I don't want it to be like, well, here's where Corey retired, and then and watch everything we did not work. And I think we can't replace me in front of a camera. Not that I'm the best at being in front of a camera. It's that you guys show up because I'm my own dorky self, and somebody else on camera is their own different dorky self. And so I've realized that if I'm the lead singer of the band, I'm about the only position that doesn't get replaced. If you replace the lead singer of a band, typically you're just a different band now. Not that you won't be successful, but you're just not the same. And so it took us years of trying to go like, well, how would we do this? And now we've just embraced, yeah, we're all different, so when Zenzo makes a video, Randy makes a video, Dean makes a video, I make a video, we're just different personalities. I can't be Dean, Dean can't be me, I can't be Randy, Randy can't be me. And so we're just rolling with it now. Yeah, that's the problem, Linus, from Linus Tech Tips. Yeah, and I've studied the channel a lot going, they were able to diversify and some people have some stuff, but the reality is Linus Tech Tips isn't Linus Tech Tips without Linus. Like, he's got to be somewhere around, as in it just has to be. So no one to hand it over to. If we were talking just handing over the business operations, Randy's got it, no problem. As the VP, right-hand man, I have no doubt it would be absolutely fine. The only place I have doubt in would be like this marketing part, the YouTube part, because we're not a typical business that just says, hey, we're going to spend a lot of money on Facebook or Google ads or whatever, and then it works. We are instead reliant on me doing videos, which we built the business that way the whole time. So last year we were spending like about $50,000 a month on Facebook advertising, and I was taking classes and really trying to apply myself. And it's not that it didn't work, it's that it wasn't nearly as effective as me just being real with people through video. And so I don't know how much we'd have to spend, but it'd be more than 50 grand a month to replace what the being honest and real over 10 years plus with you guys has done. And on one hand, that's great. It means that people can't just spend money and get that, because money basically can't buy that. We've built that over 10 plus years. And so that's why you kind of see some options like on this, like, why is my face on it? As G Bear said, you are the brand. Like, yeah, I basically realized, like, you guys, one of the things you like about it is the seal of approval. I like this product. I will put my name, my face, my money behind it. I like it. You also will notice not every product that we sell has me on it. Like, it's good. It's a product I like, but it doesn't necessarily get the seal of approval of like, man, this is going to be bananas. And then some, we just run out of packaging too. So like even our root tabs, like, no, I love these things. We literally don't have the room on that one. So don't take it as like, if it doesn't have the seal, it's garbage. Like, it's not that. If it fits, like, clearly we have a lot of empty room. We could have fit more of my dumb face on here if we wanted to, but yeah, not every product has a room, but yeah. And so, yes, being so real is refreshing. That's why I'm so anti-AI. It's not that I actually think it's necessarily bad for anything. It's that it's the polar opposite of our authenticity. The real reason I ever started live streaming, this is 100% true, was so that you guys would believe the knowledge that I would try and deliver was real. Because in a video, and there's a lot of creators, and I won't name anybody, and it doesn't even help to name it, but I've known creators that they will make a video on a subject they have no experience with, but they will do research on like Wikipedia and a few forums and then make a video because it will perform well. And I'm not saying I've never researched anything, but I try to approach most of other stuff is, I'm going to try and nerd out about this so hard, and then I'm going to deliver my opinion on the subject. And I try, and I'm not always successful, I try not to talk about things that I don't know about, and try not to weigh in on stuff, which is hard to do because it's easy to get baited into things. But it leads to a lot of controversy of just like, you're wrong. I'm like, this is why I had to develop fish room science, because I don't have the skills to explain scientifically why this thing is working, but I can promise you, you're witnessing it on the camera right now. Like, this is literally happening right here. I can't explain why it's defying your science. I can't explain it. I could only show you that it's doing it. And so I live in a world where necessarily have to understand why the thing is working in an aquarium, but if I can replicate it 100 times in a row, over and over and over and over and over again, it's fish room true to me. I don't need to know, but it's breaking the laws of physics. I don't even know the laws of physics. I'm unfazed by that. So, anyone have an update on Papa Adventures? Yeah, Lonnie. My wife, first thing, we got a Christmas card from his family. First thing she said, "No Papa?" Man, for as much Papa he's talking about, there's no picture of his Papa tree he planted. That was a miss. I had someone say sponge filters are the worst at mechanical filtration. How would you oppose that, if all? I love your sponge filters personally, and thanks for the stream today. So, how I approach it, the first thing when you're presenting your opinion to someone you already know has the opposite opinion, you use phrasing that's very important here. You start with, in my experience. You don't say, you are wrong. You say, in my experience, sponge filters have been really good for me. I do XYZ. I use this. And so I would probably ask, like, when's the last time you used a sponge filter? Have you used one with good aeration and like an optimized upflow tube? You know, tell me about it. Was it one sponge filter in a 25,000 gallon aquarium, or was it a sponge filter in a 10 gallon aquarium? Maybe their experience is only ever the $3 special where it's like the 2 suction cups that stick to the back of the aquarium, very fine sponge that, you know, shrimp breeders and stuff will use. I could see where you'd be like, it wasn't very good. I could understand that. But, you know, like anything, and then I would pivot to something they would know. I'd be like, to me, if you've only ever used one sponge filter, it's no different than when you bought your first car and it broke down once. And so now you won't use cars anymore because they're a waste of money and they break down. Like, in your experience, that was true. I understand. You had a car, it was a lemon, it broke down, it cost you a lot of money. In aggregate, though, most of us would agree car is very efficient. They get me to where I need to go, fairly reliable if you take care of them. And so usually when you can say something in my experience has been different, here's why I think it's different, in a way they'll understand. And I try to always take it out of aquarium stuff because you're arguing about the aquarium. If you argue, or not argue, if you try to explain something and something not related to that, they can see it in a different light sometimes. And then if they go, yeah, no, I've used 1,000 sponge filters. You're ridiculous, Corey. Sponge filters suck. And I go, yeah, that's cool. I'm going to use them and you're going to use what you like. It doesn't matter. We both like fish. Don't care. Just like I don't like sand. I literally have sand over there. I installed it in 2 tanks. I don't think you guys have seen it yet. Broncho came in and he's like, oh, man, there's a lot of poop on that sand. He's like, I see why you don't like sand. I'm like, I see. So the other thing, the last thing I would say is what someone else does with their tanks honestly has no bearing on what I will do. It has a little bit of bearing on our business. Like, if everybody hates sponge filters and we sell sponge filters, that's bad for us. But lucky, we made it past 10 years in business. We are at a point where we can do things because we want to do them, not because we have to do them. And we started doing that years ago. But we are fortunate enough that we can do things like, why'd you make a giant sponge filter that no one can afford and no one will ever use? Because it's fun, and I want to do it. And sometimes you got to do fun things, and then you do the things you don't like too. I'm glad I'm in a job, fish and wildlife officer, that can't be taken by AI. It's nice to hear you don't like it either. There are some aspects of AI. I have a whole probably 2-hour episode I could talk about AI. The reality is, when you break down AI, everything we pretty much use in this day and age is AI. Like, I was trying to think of, like, what's the first thing of AI I could think of that we don't think of as AI? In my opinion, probably in grade school, a calculator. Because it has a predefined set of program buttons. You press it, it comes out with a computation based on whatever you set the button. So if you have the divide symbol, you know, and it can't learn on its own, but we're providing it a set of data, which is what we've said the formulas are, and it provides us an outcome. We have learning models now, sure, but it's no different than if I feed a calculator the wrong info, as in make it do an algebraic equation incorrectly. If I provide it the wrong data, it'll do it wrong the same way every time. And everything from that point in my life has just been like, yeah, well, smartphones use a lot of it. Like, there's a lot of things you're like, well, how do you think that happens? It's a bunch of if then statements in code, which if you write enough if then statements, it basically becomes huge sets of data that it says, if this, then that. If Wikipedia says this, then do that. Like, you can kind of reduce it to get to a crazy thing where now when we're talking about AI, most times I think what we're talking about is like the latest version of AI that I don't like. On Amazon, they introduced, it says Rufus, and I'm in the beta program for that. And no matter how many times I close that thing, it keeps popping back up and annoying the crap out of me. So you type something in, and it's like, are you sure you weren't looking for fish eggs as in fishing bait? Like, no. I'm looking for brine shrimp eggs because I'm looking at what other prices people are doing about their brine shrimp eggs. I'm not looking for, and so I don't like AI being forced on anything. I don't like that. I used Firefox, and their CEO just came out like, we're gonna really make a lot of AI things happen. And there was a lot of blowback from that. It's like, I guess my biggest thing would be, I don't want technology and AI introduced to things that don't need it. For instance, I probably don't need AI in the bathroom. I don't need it to smell and be like, smells like you need more lettuce in your diet or whatever. Like, but I guarantee there is somebody out there right now going, AI in the bathroom. That's where it's at. It could analyze your poop. It could do this. It could do that. Like, someone's building a business plan on it right now going, this is how we're going to get rich. We're going to introduce AI into a thing that no one's asking for. And so, but there are plenty of AI things that are very beneficial. We've been using them in Photoshop and video editing software for 10 plus years. Blurring tools, masking tools, things like that, and like they're a huge benefit. So when I say in general I don't like AI, usually I'm talking about what we now consider AI of the last 3 years, where no one was saying AI, but as someone who took programming languages and thought I was going to become a programmer out of high school, I very much am intrigued by having software and code and computers do things. I'm a tech nerd at heart. But the AI part, we've gone too far. We've flown too close to the sun, in my opinion, where it's like, how do I get an AI shot glass? Like, we're literally trying to introduce it to everything, where it's like, I don't know that thing needs that. Yeah. We have gone too far off the rails. Like, I'm looking for fish questions, and I'm like, we're only talking about AI. Brine shrimp eggs back in stock. The new formula, the root tabs, new products, lower prices on products. Yeah. Let me mix it up. Maybe if I buy some memberships, we'll mix up the chat here. We'll buy 50. Spending them big monies. Let's see. I'm probably going to call it in 10-ish minutes or so, because that'll be 2 hours, and I want to make sure that I'm rested and can give Grandma the appropriate attention she will deserve tonight. Yeah, what are we talking? Oh, no. John's probably speaking truth. My wife is a test subject for a toilet seat that takes your blood pressure. I don't even doubt that that's a real thing. I could also see how it could be useful, like in retirement homes or something, or a hospital. I could actually see everything's got merit somehow, right? So, it is what it is. And there's probably AI ways to use in aquariums. Like, one I would say is fish counting. They're like, I know of a company that I work with where they're developing AI to count fish when they get them from imports. They want to try to figure out how many they have, And then when they go through quarantine, they want to try to know how many they have. We have that problem in the store. You can account for every dead body. You can't account for, what if you bring in 1,000 shrimp, some die and get eaten by other shrimp? You don't want to count 994 shrimp. You just want to know how many shrimp there are. And so if AI can get to a point where it can reliably do that, that would be beneficial for inventory counting in fish stores. That's a thing where it's like, we kind of are asking for that. That would be good. Yes. So I can get behind that when it makes things that I guess are impossible doable. Not impossible, because you can count shrimp, but maybe it's significant time savings or things that you wouldn't do otherwise. I don't know what my criteria is, but yeah, there are merits to it. Have you ever thought about getting your products produced in the U.S. to save on tariffs? Yeah, we have spent lots of time, energy, and we have some that are, and most won't even call us back, honestly. Like in America, there's going to be a very broad statement, and there's always going to be like, actually, I know of a company that doesn't do that. But in general, if you're manufacturing in America, you're serving companies like Ford and things like that. Like, you want to take a production order that's millions of dollars. When you call up and you go, I'd love to spend 250 grand, they go, you're not even a line item for what we do. We're waiting for Boeing, we're waiting for Microsoft, we're waiting for anybody. 250 grand, no, not doing it. So much so, Randy is very wanting to get things made in the USA. And so every product, we send it out to America and we go, hey, we'd like to do this. And then after about 6 weeks of them not getting to where we could even start, we go to China or Taiwan or somewhere else. And the typical turnaround time for us, if I want to make this 3D printed product, the turnaround time in any country besides America is about 48 hours. And we could be talking and I could place an order. In America, we average 5 or 6 weeks, and they just keep going, well, and we don't even get to a point where it's like, I need to know the actual price. I need to know the price. It depends. And we only go about 5 or 6 weeks now because we were going months before and not getting things done. And then like the latest thing, what was the latest thing that we actually tried to do? Oh, the snail collector. They literally could not make it in America. They're like, we cannot make this function the same way. Like, they had to put holes and things in the bottom, and we printed one, 3D printed one, and literally it won't work. The snails won't go into it anymore. So they would go under the thing because it would let out the smell. So it became literally impossible. They said, our machines can't do it. We asked China, which we still just 3D print these ourselves. And they're like, yeah, of course we can do that. Yeah, we'll do it. And so and you'd be like, that's one case. And I'm telling you, through a smorgasbord of different projects and things, Randy tries every single time. It's not even a pricing thing. It's not even, it's $1 here, it's $2 there. It's literally, they won't do it or get back to us because we start, well, how many looking? We're thinking 20,000 units. Oh, we usually like million and up to do print runs of anything. Like, well, that's not where we're at. I'm sorry. So, yeah. Yeah, if you go to the USA, you'll avoid tariffs too. That would be great, except they literally won't make it. It's not even will or won't they, or how much. It's won't. I can't find a single manufacturer that will make our intake sponges, for instance. They will make sponge. Some will, but they won't make it in a mold. They just want to cut a hole all the way through it. Why is every intake sponge you see on Amazon have a hole go all the way through it? Because that, you just make a block and use a hole saw and you cut it out, and then you use another hole saw and you cut out the center, and now here's an intake sponge. To make ours, they have to be made in molds. No one in America will do it that we can find. So it's a matter of, we need the thing to do the thing. We don't want to change the thing and make it worse to do the thing, because that doesn't accomplish the thing anymore. So that's the why don't you make everything in America rant. And People have linked it in the past. Like, look up that one guy that tried to make his barbecue scraper only in America. He's been working at it for 4 years, still can't do it. He's up to like 72% of it's made in America. And he only makes one product, and he's been working on it for 4 years, and he's only up to 72%. It's also like a $90 barbecue scraper at this point. So, but even money aside, literally can't get it done. And then you also find that like no one's making this product, like this metal in America. Like that's why you can't get past 72%. Like literally it's not even made. No one in America is doing it. So we run into some of those same things of just like, yeah, it just can't be done. We get plants, we get fertilizer, there's things we do. So yeah. Are the new root tabs available yet? They are. You could buy them right now. We will ship them out. How many steer-by corridors and a 40 breeder? I've never been able to breed them, and I want to try again. I would try somewhere between 6 and 8. Try to make sure you have enough males. Usually you need like 2 males to every female if you're going to have a big spawn on those steer-by corridors. Yeah, I mean, obviously you could buy more. I wouldn't get too crazy. Sometimes I find when you've got like 30 of them, you'll have half the group breeding and half the other group eating them. So I find like 6 to 8 is kind of a nice sweet spot. Normally I was streaming on Sundays, but I'm trying to build back my work-life balance, so I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not really live streaming at all. Part of it is, so why aren't you doing it, Corey? Like, that's a good question. No one's asking that, but I'm asking myself. Let's say I want to get down to working 40 hours a week. That means some things have to be cut. When I look at Corey's work to creating value for customers, improving the hobby, doing things, the live streams, I love doing them, but if I'm at work, it's not what I should be doing work-wise. I should be working on a product, or if I want you guys to watch something we do, we'll get more views on a video. So in general, if I live stream and I talk about something, we'll get half as many views as if I just film a video about it. And partially it's a 2-hour length versus, maybe a 30-minute length or whatever. There's a lot of things about it. And so I've relegated live streams to do it when you feel like doing it, when you have the free time, and it's not work time. And so today, on Christmas, I'm not at work. I do have the free time, and I'm totally doing it. I'm having fun. But on Sundays, it's like, well, I've got work I'm behind on or other stuff. And so if I'm going to work, there's work I need to do. If I'm not working, I actually want to do this thing with my family or Katie. So, and then I thought, like, maybe should I try to build these in on, like, do I go back to Tuesdays or Wednesdays or Thursdays or whatever? And I'm like, honestly, I just don't have the time. I'm already working 60, 70-hour weeks easily at this point. I need to my skill that I need to work on is getting more efficient with my time so that I can spend less time. It's not a flex. It's not a flex to say I work 100 hours a week. It's, hustle culture would make you think that, but really it's like, wow, Aquarium Co-op does as well as they do, and you only work 10 hours a week? That's a flex. So I'm trying to work on what are the things that are more inefficient and rework those things. So it was far more efficient for me to live stream. We basically live stream. We do the Deep in the Mold podcast every week. It's a set time. Whether or not I'm available, it still happens. I could be in Brazil. It still happens. And if Randy or Zenzo's busy, we still do it. So all of those things worked out well. And we set the parameters of, like, we're not coming up with thumbnails. We're not coming up with titles. Like, it has to be as easy as possible. Just like one more meeting out of the week. And by doing that, that's kind of satisfying some of that itch of I want to talk to the audience. And while it's not actually live, we don't edit it at all. We just put it up right after the fact. So when you guys sometimes like, why'd they release it at 4 today? Because we couldn't meet earlier in the day. We all had stuff going on. We met later. Or why is it on a different day this week? Because we didn't meet that. Like, we were all busy. So typically, like yesterday's, it was up within 30 minutes of us finishing it. So it's almost like it's live. But obviously we don't have a chat there and things like that. Let's let's see. I want to thank you so much for a live stream on Christmas Day. It's awesome Christmas gift to all of us, including myself. Me too. I usually leave the live stream on like a high unless I rant too hard or make people angry. Every once in a while, I get into it with one with someone in chat, and then I dwell and hate that for like a month and a half of like, why did I let myself devolve into that? It's like you're showing up to, like, maybe I look at it like you're showing up to have a good time, and then you left not having a good time. Like, why did I let that happen to myself? So, in general, I enjoy them quite a bit because I'm here to have fun. Let's see. Yeah, I've been talking about Deep in the Muln, but if you're not a member, you wouldn't know. I'm 2 months in the books now of having the little, we're calling it the little Aquarium social group. And what that means is we have like 6 or 7 of us. We get together at random people's houses or fish rooms and just talk fish and spread things around. Like 2 meetings ago, Dean brought paramecium cultures. This last meeting, I made up microworm cultures, and Candy's been bringing some cookies and some other stuff. And but if you're local, like, don't hit us up because it's meant to be small. I don't want a second club. I don't want to grow into something big. I'm trying to keep it light and airy and my other thing is it's not work. And so, like, someone asked me to do something with work, and I was like, no, I'm not at work. And they're like, what? And I'm like, this is purely my hobby. It is not work. I will do this thing tomorrow or earlier, but I'm not bringing it with me or dropping it off on the way. That turns us into work. So the alternative to having big club meetings is having small group meetings with just some friends. So I recommend trying that. It's been very fun. Yeah. We have some food, we talk some fish, we share some fish, we share cultures of things, plant clippings. Yeah. So it's been a good time. So I recommend trying that out if you have the option. Yeah, there is a lot of flooding in Washington. It's been crazy over here. A lot of weird weather. Still not even not that cold. Yes, I need to like change my avatar online instead of being my seal of rule. It needs to be like Cookie Monster. I am a fiend for cookies. I love cookies. Not all cookies, but man, do I like cookies. If you were offered like, you want cake? No, I'd have a cookie. You want ice cream? No, I'd prefer a cookie. You want it? Nope, cookies. You want this thing that's not a cookie? No, I'd rather have a cookie. Cookies are awesome. They're handheld. I can just have a little bit. So, only thing I'm missing is a mop beard. That's Dan's fish. He's got the cool mop beard thing. That's genius. Katie always wants me to grow my beard out so she can hang ornaments in it for the live stream. Ooh. The first day I get some time, I shall be making cookies for both Dorcula and Candy. I will partake in those cookies if my wife will let me. Candy made some delicious gingerbread cookies that my wife is a big fan of. I ate more than I'd like to admit as well, but Katie's particular about her cookies, and she really liked them, so it's good to know. A video on cultures would be cool. I've done one on like vinegar eels, and yeah, I'm not opposed to doing some videos on cultures. Yeah. Oh, that's that lip smacking thing. Why is that coming back? It's because I'm not live streaming enough. Just buy your filters and air pump for my 2 shrimp tanks. Any tips before they come in the mail for best results? Not really. Usually there's videos on the product pages to see like how to set them up if you have questions. But no, we try to, our products are meant to be easy. So we're trying to keep them easy, fairly straightforward, and they just work. So I think you'll be set up for success there. I bought a few huge pieces of driftwood from the local fish store and never used it. What can I do to clean it since it says it's too big to boil? I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. I never boil driftwood. So if you really were trying to do something, you could soak it like in maybe you've got a cooler, you could do that. Doesn't have to be hot water. If you have a pond or something like that, but honestly, I never soak anything. I just put it into my tanks, and if it grows a little bit of fungus, I water change, and I let the fish eat it. If it releases a lot of tannins, I change the water. For me, it's like, sure, I can do this thing where I boil and do a lot of work, or I could put it into an aquarium and change water, which is less work to me, and the fish like getting extra water changes. So I'd rather make my fish happier and not do the other thing. Plus, boiling the tannins out of wood can make your house smell a little bit weird. You're jamming up the kitchen where your wife, well, not only your wife, but someone could be making you cookies. So I prefer to just stay out of the kitchen as much as possible and keep, like I was making microworm cultures in the kitchen, and I'm like, here we are, we're back to Corey's in the kitchen. Pretty much the only time I'm in the kitchen, I'm making rapashi or culture type things and making a mess, like when I tried to make my own fish food back years past, like blending it and doing stuff. And now I try to keep most of that in the fish room. So like I've got a microwave out here, I've got an immersion blender, I've got some of that stuff. But we have the instant hot water in the kitchen, so it made it easy. Well, I thought it was going to make it easier to do the mashed potatoes, and I realized these mashed potatoes are really hot. It's going to kill the worms if I put them on there. So then I had to cool the mashed potatoes down before I could put the worms on them. So, yeah. Best culture to start from Madaka fry, probably microworms. The adults, probably white worms. Well, now, it depends. Like if you have ponds outside, Daphnia is pretty sweet. I've been playing with that some too. Bathtub hot water, that would work too. I mean, any faucet would have. How do I feel about sugar cookies? Yeah, I like them quite a bit. So I love sugar cookies, but I don't like it when they have the sugar crystals on top. That just feels like you're biting into way too much sugar that's crunchy. I don't like that. I prefer sugar cookies without the sugar on top. Molasses cookies, I'm not huge on them, but I'll eat them. A cookie's got to be real bad for me to snub. Like, oh, I don't want that cookie. It'd have to be real bad. I'm not huge on oatmeal cookies. I'll eat them begrudgingly, but I don't like it. I don't like it. I also am not huge on white chocolate chip macadamia nuts. Don't get me wrong, I'll eat them. If it's the only cookie on the table, I'm going to eat some. But I just keep thinking like, oh man, if these were chocolate chips, they'd be so much better instead of white chocolate chips. Ooh, my wife says, fine, I have the oven temping for chocolate chip cookies. I live a real hard life over here. I have to go live and I have to masterfully influence my wife to want to make cookies. You see that? This has been a 2-hour ruse to get fresh baked cookies. Now that, my friends, is influence. Convincing the wife subconsciously to 400 nerds on the internet that I need cookies. Oatmeal raisin? Ugh. Yeah. Pumpkin chocolate chip cookies? I've never had one. I've never had a pumpkin chocolate chip cookie, I don't think. But I think I've already had enough for my lifetime. Yeah. I mean, they're probably good, but again, if a cookie's on a table and it's the only cookie available, I'm gonna try it. But I don't know that I'm gonna order that. Yes, and I'm very much team soft cookie, not crunchy cookie. Although there is one crunchy cookie I like, but it would be better soft, I'm convinced. They come in that like green package. What are those cookies? They're thin. I never buy them because I can murder like a sleeve of those things without even realizing it. What are those crunchy cookies that I like? My wife will know. Green package. They're too expensive too. They're like $6. I'm like, I ain't buying $6 cookies. Like I married a professionally trained baker. I'm not buying $6 cookies. Like I can get the world's best cookies from her outside of paying $6 for a cookie. That'd be crazy. Stephen B, you've nailed it. I don't like this cookie means I only want 4 or 5 of these. You are correct, sir. Oh, is it Tate's cookies? You said Rates, but I think it's Tate's. The Tate's chocolate, yeah, the Tate's chocolate chip cookies are basically like me throwing money away because I eat them so fast. And they're like thin and crispy, so they're not heavy enough where you're like, I'm gonna eat a lot of these real quickly. What is a serving size? 2 cookies? Ain't nobody only eating 2 of those. That's for dang sure. Yeah, if you get the chance, green package Tate's like chocolate chip crunchy cookies. They don't not called crunchy, they're just Tate's Bake Shop out of Southampton, New York. I can put one of those down absurdly fast. Which is I normally like the soft cookies. Peanut butter chocolate chip, I'm in. I'm in. Cookies dipped in coffee. I like the concept. I hate coffee, but I could see how that'd be enjoyable. Coffee smells so good. I just don't like the taste of it. Yeah, same. I feel like I can have way more of the Tate's cookies. Yeah, they got their algorithm figured out. Like we're gonna pretend like you're only eating 2, but you're gonna like I hope someone's smart enough there is like, can we put them into 2 packages? And like I think it's like how many cookies you get? What does it say? How many cookies you get? It doesn't say. That would be helpful though. But I want to say you get like, let's say you get 12. They put them into like 2 6-packs. You could easily eat the 6-pack because they're like thin. And so, yeah. I bought a can of Aquarium Brine Shrimp eggs right before they were before they were unavailable and did not open them. And they're still in the freezer. Are they still good? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. They're still just fine, especially if they're in the freezer. Stroopwafels are decent. They're crunchy though. Tate's brownie bark is dangerous. I haven't had any of that yet, and I try not to venture out too much because I think they've got walnut Tate cookies too. Those are good, but I'm not looking for more ways. This body is not looking for additional ways to consume more types of cookies. And I do know that cookies in moderation do not go well together for me. That's why Starbucks sells giant cookies. I don't think I've ever had a Starbucks cookie. I've had their like lemon pound cake. That's decent. That's the everything's closed at the airport and Starbucks is open and it's got a long line, but I'm hungry and I'm like, ugh, let me get up there. Okay, do I want a cake pop for too much money? No. Do I want this other thing that looks terrible? I've been sitting in the airport for 9 hours. No. All right, let me get a piece of that lemon pound cake for $5. And then I'm like, too much frosting, bro. You're killing me. But I'm hungry and I'm in some other airport and I'm trapped. $5 lemon pound cake in an airport, I guess, is reasonable because it's the airport. Shortbread cookies? Yes. I'm in. In general, like one of my favorite is chocolate chip cookies without the chocolate chips, or very sparingly. Like I want the whole cookie to have 1 or 2 chocolate chips in it. But then I also love shortbread cookies. Real good. I think sales of the Tates are going through the roof. Ooh, how do we get that Tate sponsorship? One of these days, the stars will align where I'm like talking about how I love something, and somehow someone with enough influence in that company will be a fan of Aquarium Co-op and be like, I could do this. I mean, it kind of worked out that way with merch, right? AKT. That's been pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, the last thing I need is unlimited cookie. I need a cookie sponsor like I need another hole in the head. Like I don't need that. Like this guy right here does not need a cookie sponsor, but boy, do I need a cookie sponsor. That'd be amazing. Yeah, maybe I need a sponsor where I can like give away cookies every month. Like instead of memberships, we're giving away cookies. Yeah. I'm listening from behind, but you are 100% correct. The best cookie is a chocolate chip cookie without the chocolate chips. You could not be more correct. This is the only correct answer. I know. Yeah, I love them. Although, if I get them too many times in a row, I start going, I wonder what chocolate chips are like again. And then I eat it, and I'm like, oh, these are good. Well, not quite as good as without. And so the perfect amount is like, each cookie would have somewhere between 0 and like 3 chocolate chips. That's the perfect. Like, ooh, this cookie had none. Ooh, this one had 2. Oh, this one had 1. Like, you get enough. Mm-hmm. Welcome to the club, Timothy Starner 5834. Yeah, can we make this a thing where every fish club, every Keystone Clash, everything where aquarium co-op fish nerds attend, there is an abundance of cookies. Maybe I'll start that with like the Kentucky thing. I was just thinking imagine Jody P's gonna have a fish booth at the Keystone Clash or something like that. It would work because Dean did this. He gave out cookies when he was doing pen booths. But I guarantee, you want to get me or any potential buyer to your booth, be like, start the rumor of like, oh man, you had the peanut butter cookie over at booth number 264. I'll come a running. Like, that's what they do that at Interzoo, by the way. At Interzoo, all the booths, well, not all the booths, but a lot of the booths will have candy or the one up and like, oh, we have ice cream. Or the next booth, like Fluball one year, they were doing, when they flew us out, they were doing, they had baristas on staff at the booth. And then they also had, like sausages and pretzels, I think. And as a buyer, because it was meant, Interzoo, you can't be just a hobbyist, you gotta be like a buyer. But you could literally just sit down and be like, I'm gonna need a mocha, I'm gonna need some sausages, and I'm gonna need pretzels. Ooh, those pretzels are good. I'm gonna need another fresh German pretzel. And then the next day you can be like, I'm gonna need another pretzel, I'm gonna need more of this. And we would eat there a few times a day, depending on where we were going. And so as buyers, you would make the rounds. You're like, yeah, let's go get lunch over here. Ooh, you want some ice cream? Let's go get ice cream. Oh, they got smoothies over there. Let's go get a smoothie. And food totally will bribe people to your booth. Like that just will happen. And so finding a way where, yeah, we need to do it where like there's a whole factory of fresh baked cookies happening at these booths. And how do I make that a thing? Corey will speak at your club, but I'm gonna need a $300 cookie budget for everybody. Like, who's making? I need 10. No, not 10's too many. I need 4 cookies per person in attendance. If 300 people show up to my talk, there better be 1,200 cookies there, so that everybody can have cookies. That's my new thing. That's my new jam. It used to be we'd have lots of Reese's peanut butter cups and Snickers around. Let's do homemade cookies. Which, by the way, at Aquashellas and Aquatic Experiences, there have been fans that have brought me homemade cookies. It is my favorite thing. In fact, last year, which I was super sad, by the way. Next time, officially, Stephen P. or Jody or Candy or anybody that knows what's going on, remind me. I'm too busy and I forget. I did not get to partake in the Secret Santa this year. Although maybe I'm banned or something. Maybe it's like, don't tell Corey, we don't like that guy. If that's the case, I understand. But I was sad when I think I saw Jody P post a video of what she got for her Secret Santa. I was like, no, I missed the Secret Santa. I wanted to do that so bad. Last year I got, by the way, they knitted us ornaments for the tree. They're on the tree right now. Maybe I'll take a picture when I go back inside. And they sent us cookies. I ate the cookies and we're using the ornaments. I love Secret Santas that are fish related. So someone please, like you probably did signups for a month and I just was busy because I'm a fool and I totally missed it. Don't think it was, I didn't participate because I didn't want to. I would have loved to and I totally forgot. Dang it. You need to have an aquarium co-op cookie line? No. The lines for our booth are already crazy. We need to, like, if anything, we need to buy other companies' cookies, and then it'll spread people around. Tim Hortons Donuts. Tim Hortons Donuts were a common thing at Magic the Gathering tournaments. The Canadians would come down, and they'd bring a lot of donut holes, and we would do that at Magic the Gathering tournaments. But I think cookies for corredoras, or like we gotta find something here, like cookies for co-op. Maybe that's the co-op mentality. Like, why do you guys call yourself a co-op? Well, whenever we get together, we have everybody bring their own cookies. It's amazing. We co-opt an entire table of cookies. I don't know if that's a real quote, but I think I need that on my tombstone. And that is, without Cookie, I only monster. Said by Cookie Monster. That is the best quote I've heard in a long time, because that's kind of me. There's legitimately like a warning my wife gives to people, like, make sure Corey eats, because I get hangry and I work all the time and I'm in meetings, and I'll start making rash decisions where it's like, oh, hold on, I haven't eaten in 6 hours. Let me start by apologizing. I need to eat. And then I'll come back and I'll be like, all right, I let that get away from me. I'm sorry. Let's look at this with a normal brain, not the hangry brain that's ready to, you know, I'm only the monster, not the cookie monster if I don't have cookies. Timbits, not donut holes. Yeah, I know. We don't have Timbit. We don't have Tim Hortons here or Timbits, so it's that U.S. slang for donut holes. Cooperative cookies? Yes. Yes. I think that could be a thing. Maybe we'll find a way of, like, how do we donate? It'll be hard because events are all around the country, but how could we, like, what's Aquarium Co-op donating? 1,000 cookies? What? Yes. We're gonna, we found a local place, a local bakery. We've ordered 1,000 cookies. We spent $1,000 and got 1,000 cookies. Mm-hmm. It was kind of last minute, the Secret Santa. Okay, I don't feel as bad because, like, every Friday I basically look at it and I go, dang it, I just missed the Stephen P show, or I'm too early. Because I want to say because of East Coast time or something, half the time I'm working and I'm like, oh yeah, that's tonight. And then I decide I'm done working at some point. That might be like 5 p.m. And I'm like, oh, I need to go eat dinner. I got to catch up with Katie. And then so often I end up joining your guys' thing and you're already like almost done. And I'm like, I missed it again. So I try to hang out there, and it's hard to unwind from fish stuff while you're doing fish stuff all day, though. And talk to your wife, and pet your dogs, and eat dinner. Yeah. Algae cookies? No spirulina cookies. Banned. Although I think the cookies, I don't think we can do cookies. I think that gets into, like, as a company doing the cookies, you have to have, like, food permits, where if you guys bring cookies, you as the attendees that want to share cookies with other people probably don't have to have the same requirements. So, yeah, I think cookies should be more widespread at fish events, though. I'm into it. In fact, on Deep in the Mulm, Randy had a good idea, and I think I'm kind of into that. Maybe I'll start that somehow. He wants to trade his fish for cookies. I could see myself setting up a way where I'd be willing to ship some fish, which shipping fish sucks. I really hate it. But I like, and I don't want to take people's money necessarily. Because, like, if you said, Corey, I'll buy $100 worth of fish and you got to ship them, I'd be like, no. I'd rather live stream or do anything else but that. But if it was like, oh, Corey, I really, really, really want some of those, and I make cookies, pick your favorite. I will make you 24 of these for some orange laser corridora fry or something. There's a more likely that will happen. I don't want to commit to it because we're going to get 27 emails tonight going, we want Corey's fish. He said he'd trade for cookies. I don't want to spend all next week shipping fish or anything. Like, but and so I have people ask me fairly often, people that work with us or whatever, like, I'd love to get some of those. And I'm like, you can't buy them. If you remind me when the weather's better and I'm thinking about it and I got time, I will ship them to you for free. But you can't buy them because then it's like, it's Monday, Corey, you didn't ship them out. Like, yeah, I had business to do. So, pineapple cookies. I've had pineapple cookies in Hawaii. Shortbread with, like, that little pineapple. They're not the worst. They're not pineapple pizza bad, but, you know, they also make that same cookie, that shortbread cookie with a chocolate chip. Chocolate chips or pineapple? Which one to choose? So hard. I will say I do give a stern look on Hawaiian Airlines if I'm flying to Hawaii and they hand me the pineapple cookie, like, you know they make this in chocolate, right? Why would you do this? Girl Scout partnership? Nah. I feel like the Girl Scout cookie ratio and quality to money, the value's not there. I have bought a lot of Girl Scout cookies to support family, friends, that kind of stuff. It's gotten to a point though where it's like I'd rather literally just give you the money. Like this is just the cookies aren't as good as they used to be. You get less of them. I yeah. What cookie are you eating instead of what seltzer are you drinking? Oh yes, on the Deep in the Mole. I could get behind that. I could convince my wife. Somehow I need to develop some kind of business related thing where it's very important that I have new interesting cookies every week for work. It's kind of like I don't know if you guys had this, but whenever we had a field trip in school, so I was a guy. I had free lunch, right? So we were poor and free hot lunch, which very appreciative for that. But whenever there would be a field trip, you had to bring your own lunch, and my mom would always like take me shopping. Well, I had to go shopping when she went grocery shopping anyway, because we were only had a mom at home, so couldn't just leave me at home, right? So had to go shopping anyway. She would let me pick out like, ooh, maybe I got to pick out like ding dongs or like I used to be into the lemon pies, those cheap pies, and then you get to pick like a drink and a sandwich, and what she would make the sandwich or whatever. But I remember where was I even going with the story? Uh, it was a good reason. Like that lunch was amazing because I got to pick out all my favorite things, and so creating a reason where having cookies, like a new unique cookie every week, would be the same principle of like, oh man, this is amazing. Like, definitely should create something where I need cookies in my life. You can't feel too bad for Dorcula. She went to Cordon Bleu to become a professionally trained baker. She chose this. And to be fair, I started dating her before she chose that. What was Dorothy can chime in, but what were you gonna do first? Weren't you gonna like try to be a math teacher? Wasn't that your jam? I'm trying to remember. Because I want to say like a year later, 2 years later, you're like, nope, pivoting hard to baker. And I'm much happier that you are a baker than a math wizard. I have a new goal to find the best cookie recipe that I can bake within my skill set. So there are others, by the way, like Tyler Woodhouse has flown here and brought me cookies. He brought me the Ted Lasso cookies, which were very delicious, and I appreciate that. Um, so yes, I'm never sad. In general, I hope this person listens to this because there's so many gifts I've gotten over the years that I use every day still. Like we've got a blanket someone made us. We still use it. I love it. I love handmade things because something that's handmade is equal to everybody. And what I mean by that is if I buy you $100 gift card, it's different than if your kid bought you $100 gift card, or if Bill Gates buy you $100 gift card. You're like that means nothing because that's such a small amount of money. Where if all of the people I just mentioned, we all made you, if we all made you a quilt or a knitted ornament or this wood table, it all took an equal amount of time. Like someone had to put their time and effort to make you that thing. And so I value handmade things very highly because, yes, money's not all equal to everybody, right? And you can get into different currency exchanges, like 100 US dollars versus 100 euros versus 100 things. And so, in general, I disproportionately value people that will give their time. Like the relationship I built with Chris Lukup, I was so blown away that he would spend so much time to get me a ticket to the dinner at Interzoo one year, and that started a whole friendship that is now many many years in the making. So, oh, by the way, I forgot to let me see if I could plug those guys. Is it what is their website called? Oh no, I gotta look. Oliver Knott sent it to me. Oliver Knott and Chris Lookup are doing a thing. Let me find it here. It is their new. Ah, here it is. crustaframe.com. Oh, wait. Why does that say? Hold on. That's not working. Let me see. Let me Google it. Crustaframe? Is their website broken or is it working? No, it works. Okay. So crustaframe.photodeck.com. That's where this poster is. This poster is on like foam board and everything. They sent me one for Christmas, which was cool. Which I like that because they made that. They had to make the website. What's special about it is 2 of the pictures on this poster I took when Chris was teaching me how to photograph fish. So super cool. And yeah, so it's, I believe, all of Chris Lukup's pictures he's taken over the years, which is an insane amount. And Oliver has uploaded all of those, resized them, built out the website so that you can order posters or things of those fish. So like here's these are just, let's see. So right now, so far, they have 485 images and 40 different posters, and they ship worldwide. I have no idea the costs. So if it's like, oh man, it's real expensive to ship it to Australia, like, yeah, I can see that. You can buy them as, looks like the posters as a PDF and have them printed locally, or poster JPEG. So is that the one where I could order, let's see, A1, A2 sizes. Okay, let's say an A1 size. And let's see if I can find this beta poster right here. Yep. And it even says Chris Loop and Corey McElroy on it. So that's pretty cool. So in theory, this poster, at least in this style, let's see. Private view license. Okay, so you get that poster. I think you just, it's just a JPEG. I feel like there's a way, or at least the plan is to make a way where you could get this product to your door. I don't know if they're that far yet. Can we buy this? There's got to be a way to do that. Where do I buy this? Buy now? Yeah, buy now. Anyway, it's a way to get access to that artwork, and they've been working on it, and it's getting better and better over time, and that's how I got that thing. So I was just shouting them out. So hopefully, I know Chris Luke kept saying for a long time, we want to get more of his posters and pictures that people want to buy him. Because people say, I'd love to have that poster. I live in X country. And then it's really hard to get it to you. So, let's see. Yeah, my wife said, double major in math and physics with an emphasis on becoming a math teacher. Then I got sick and took a half a year off and went pastry chef school. Yep. Yeah. Which was lucky for me because that means she had time for this dork. Which before, so we've known each other, my wife can tell, is it 22 years? Something like that? I don't know. Let me think. No, it can't be. 21 years? I don't know. Anyway, I knew her before she was a baker, and she knew me before I was a fish idiot. As in, I had never kept a fish myself when I was first dating Katie. So that madness started after for both of us. So, yeah. I didn't just marry her for her math wizardry skills. Is there an aquarium co-op canister or hang on back in the works at all yet? Not really. Not really. Yes, it is 22 years. Old as dirt, as she says. So, if you've been together with your other person for more than 22 years, you are also old as dirt. So says my wife. I'm going to need a new signature in customer service. We do not ship fish for cookies. Yeah, unless they're really good cookies. I'm going to find a way to like drop ship fish from Dan's Fish and trade for cookies. I love homemade things. Like, not, it doesn't have to be homemade, but like you can make it. I love whether it's food, whether it's a product, like I think everybody does. Like if someone has been making pizza their whole life, like of course I want to try your pizza. Like if you've been making couches your whole life, of course I want a couch made by you. It's going to be amazing. It's the way I feel about aquarium stuff. Like of course if you've used sponge filters and Corey, you've made the sponge filter you think is the best, like I hope you guys are like, of course it's the best one. Like, yeah. Whereas yeah, I don't like the Me Too products. I like the things like I specialize in this. I really nerd out and obsess about this, and this is why I think it's the best. Stands for cookies or food or blankets or ornaments or whatever. So, been together with my husband since 1988. Nice. That's a long time. All right. Are my cookies cooking yet? I should probably. It's 2.5 hours. I gotta get ready for Graham. I'm not even wearing socks right now. That's how crazy I am. I don't have socks on because it's warm in here. I gotta get ready for Grandma's. And yeah, my grandma had requested hot dogs, so we were having hot dogs for Christmas dinner. My grandma, if you weren't aware, has dementia, and you know, unfortunately at Thanksgiving she forgot it was Thanksgiving, but she has requested she wants hot dogs. So she hasn't had a hot dog in a long time. To be fair, I haven't had a hot dog since summer. So we're doing nice hot dogs and stuff like that. It's also an easy meal. We try to keep it easy. We're trying not to overwhelm my grandma, have a bunch of cooking going on in the kitchen and all of that, trying to make it easy. Our big thing at holidays is always like, don't turn it into the giant ordeal. Try to make it about people and family. And so usually it's like there's snacks and cookies. Last at Thanksgiving, I ate a lot of chocolate chip cookies, and then it's the people. So like Katie will probably be bringing cookies now, and then deviled eggs. We'll also be having hot dogs and whatever else other people bring, and yeah, it'll be a good time. So it's also a real easy cleanup because as some of you in the chat will know, if you're the family that hosts, it's like a hurricane went through your house when Thanksgiving or Christmas is over. So, if we don't have to dirty every pot and pan like not we, but they had to yesterday to make homemade tamales and everything, it makes the holidays a little bit easier on everybody. So, as a gifted subscription, you gifted a subscription to the community. Well, thank you, Kurt. What'd you miss? Products are cheaper. Some are back in stock. Some are new. We talked about cookies and AI. We talked about, kind of thoughts on business, why I can't retire, or why I won't retire. I could, I guess I won't. And other fun stuff all day. Well, not all day, but yeah. Hopefully you guys and girls and dogs, I got a hair in my mouth, are having a good day. I'm going to go cuddle my dogs and get ready to go to Grandma's. Thanks for supporting us over the years. And yes, brine shrimp's back in stock. Sing it from the rooftops. And what if Higer made cookies? Oh, yeah. Well, I'm trying to think of how to trash talk Higer, which I trash talk Higer like I trash talk Fluval. Everybody's equal, as in everybody deserves to be in the space. But the way Higer does their products, how would they do it? They would launch a knockoff version of every cookie on the planet with no regard for if any are actually good or bad. They're just like, we will sell 3,000 different types of cookies and we'll market them all the same, and the good ones will be marketed right along with the bad ones. Like, I don't know how that company has 50 different heaters and things. Like, that's just a weird strategy. But if they did, they'd have all the cookies with none of the nuance of any of them. They'd be like, of course we sell that. It's a cookie. Oh yeah, what do you like about it? It's a cookie. Okay then. Yep, got it. Cookies. What kind of dogs? Or what kind of hot dogs? Just meat and bun, mustard and ketchup, or fancy like Chicago style? Probably not too fancy. They'll probably be like, when I have a hot dog, I'm mostly like, I'm a weirdo. I'm gonna admit right now, everybody else can be like, that's not how I like my hot dogs. And I'd be like, cool. I'm gonna eat my own hot dog. I'm a guy that usually simple bun, but I'll take a better bun. A little bit of mayonnaise, a little bit of barbecue. I like a little bit of cheese on it, and then a hot dog. It could be a Nathan's, could be a Hebrew National, could be a Costco hot dog, could be some other fancy thing sometimes we buy these Angus hot dogs, any of that. And then if you add other stuff, if like, oh, someone actually cut up onions, sure, I'll take some of those. Oh, you're doing more? I'll take some of that too. Um, yeah, I think my favorite hot dog that I've had in my life is from Yesterdog. I think that was in Michigan. I've had them 2 or 3 times, and those are like those real like soft hot dog. I don't know how to explain it other than like it's like a different type of hot dog. And Yesterdog with their like putting everything on it, and then they have those like cheese onion Cheeto things. Mm-hmm. It's it's good. I don't know that I eat them every day, but man, if I'm in the area, gotta get me some of those Yesterdogs. That's what it is, right? Yesterdog. And there's another thing like Yesterdog that everyone's like, you got to go there. They are not even close to as good as Yesterdog. Like I'll eat them, but there's another famous dog place that's around them, and it is Grand Rapids, Michigan. Icon Yesterdog. Oh no, 6 months ago sells to new owners. That's right. I'm smashing the Zis suction cup. My life is over. If they change anything at Yesterdog, I'm gonna have to eat less of them. No. No. Why? Dang it. Portillo's. I think no, it's not. Is it Portillo's? Yeah. It's like a diner thing almost. Yeah. Well, hopefully someone that lives locally can let me know if Yesterdog has changed ownership for the worst, or if they're carrying the legacy on in their top-tiered slot of hot doggery. Shrimp mayo thin bread roll? I don't know what that is, but I would definitely try it. Or are you saying, is it shrimp mayo is like, it's a shrimp flavored mayonnaise, or shrimp and then mayonnaise and then just on bread? Because that I'm like, yeah, all right. I'd still try that too, but yeah. Hot dog wrapped in bacon air fried? Yep. See, I'm less of the you're doing it wrong and more of the I'm gonna try that. Yep, you will make me a hot dog you think's amazing. I would eat that, so I'm into it. All right, I think I've sufficiently made everybody hungry. Turns out I'm getting hungry now. Who would have thought after talking about food for an hour, I could do a little bit of eating. If you're looking for a cheese that has a very high value dollar to good cheese ratio, I will let you in on a secret. The Costco brand Kirkland Coastal Cheese, very good. I may or may not have been eating a lot of that cheese lately. So if you're at a Costco, take a look. Bro, go see grandma. I can't. My grandma won't even be awake for like another hour and a half. Her dementia has made her lose time of like the circadian rhythm. So on average, she's not getting up anywhere between 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. So officially, we don't start for at least another hour and a half. Grandma may or may not be awake yet, which is fine. But we will partake in the hot dogs and the good times. So hopefully you're having a good time. Oh yeah, make sure you buy all of our stuff. Did you guys buy all the stuff? Let me look. No, we still have stuff in stock. All right, good. So you can keep buying all of our stuff, and we'll get as much as we can shipped out tomorrow for you, and then get the remainder, hopefully, I would assume on Monday. And I might even put out a video tomorrow. Don't know yet. We've got some videos. We just haven't released them. We're kind of taking it slow on the holiday week. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you next time. And compliment somebody. It's the holidays. You should do it not on the holidays as well, but give them a compliment. It'll make their day. It'll make you feel good. They'll feel good. And I'll see you next time live, whenever that is. Otherwise, I'll see you in the videos or on the forum. Huh? Or maybe I'll run into you at a Yesterdog, even though I have only been there twice in like my entire life. But there's always a chance. All right. Bye-bye. Gotta find the button.